the next day they're gone.
I can get rid of these.
He planted some super bait. I remember it's kind of like the super mole that Colton Page was talking about planting one day. But no, he planted some super bait that just the ants were gone. Came home.
I mean, ants normally only show up if there's something sweet on the ground. Like if you spill apple juice or some shit and you don't clean it all up, you'll find a lot of ants. But ants don't show up for a clean floor. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Rats don't show up to an empty garage.
I got hella ants in my house too.
Yeah. Apparently, talking to my neighbors, it's been pretty bad for everybody lately. But yeah, it was mostly around my sink and then in my living room a little bit. But
you know what I also have a serious problem with right now? I got about 38 gophers in my front yard. It looks like a whoop section outside my front door right now. Just
fill it up with 87.
Those are a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Well, we seen one yesterday.
87, then light it on fire and see what happens.
he was digging his little mound out of the ground yesterday when I was standing at the front window of the house. I was like, "Fuck, there's a gopher right there." And I went to grab a shovel to kill it, and by the time I got back out there, Natalie had a water hose down in there trying to flood the tunnel.
progressive treats for those two, but I think you're out of their service range.
I don't think I'm in the range.
I did hear of something you can do: hook some type of tube on your exhaust, and then put it down in the hole. Basically, you're using carbon monoxide to poison them.
Just give it a cold supernal rev bomb.
Because we're all about animal cruelty around here, you know.
Probably do it.
Episode 18 of the Pit Racing Podcast, rolling live. Thursday, what is it, May 12th?
Yeah, that's right.
1-2?
1-2.
It's the end of the semester. I'm happy. I just got final grades submitted. It's a good day.
How many failed?
I actually didn't have any failures this semester, which is cool.
What about Super Chief that sent you that email?
I don't even remember, to be honest. I had so many kids in class this
semester. You got to remember that email, though.
Oh, I do remember the email. Yeah, but I got like 4 of those this semester.
But he passed?
Yeah, he passed. I don't remember what he got.
Damn, son.
Yeah, dude, like, I don't know what's worse, really, because, like, when you're a junior high teacher or an elementary school teacher, like, you deal with a bunch of dumb kids or difficult to deal with kids. But it's almost more annoying when you're dealing with grown adults and they send you these emails like, well, I straight up
hold up. 18-year-old is a grown adult?
Legally, yeah. But I got an email like halfway through the semester this year. This kid emails me. No, he came up to me in class, actually, after lecture one day. He goes, so I actually forgot that I was enrolled in this class, and yeah, I haven't done anything in here in like a month. And I just looked at him. I'm like, so what do you expect me to do about that? He's like, well, like, is there anything I can do to like make it up? And I'm like, I mean, if you like ace the rest of the class, you know, I guess we'll see how it goes. But I'm not going to go back and wait and spend my time like reopening the rest of the class for you, because a lot of this class you do the assignments online. So I'd have to go back and open up all these different assignments that he just didn't do because he forgot he was enrolled. He's paying like $2,000 to be enrolled in this college class, and he just forgot about.
I mean, come on now.
It's just stuff like that. I get those every semester. It's mainly when I'm teaching non-majors, which is who I was teaching this past semester. They're just like, boo, which I don't get it. But anyway, so we got Alec Gaut in the house tonight, and I met Alec for the first time tonight, so I can't give you a full rundown of who he is and what he does, but I know he's track crew for Supercross and a media man for both Supercross and outdoors photographer. And we'll get into more of what he does as the show goes on here tonight. But we're going to call Jeremy Thomas, a.k.a. Crossthread Craig.
Hugga-dugga.
Yeah, at some point during the show tonight, talk about Amp Motocross Park. They're making some changes to the facility for the state championship series round that they got coming up next weekend. We're going to go and do a recap of Jandebuer State race at some point, and we'll give you a breakdown of Amp, a little bit of a preview before we head out there. So stick with us. Pit Racing Podcast coming at you live, episode 18.
I forgot to turn my gas on, and I was doing a backflip. You never knew who might show up in the pro class.
I mean, it would have been a perfect pass, but
Allegedly would have been a
yeah, it would have. Like,
We do what we do.
Yeah.
Ex-quad god Chase Snap.
pit racing, pit golfing.
Pit racing.
Pit racing, boy.
Shit.
Presented by SSI Decals, this is the Pit Racing Podcast coming at you right now.
Episode 18. We're back in the studio. We're keeping them coming hot and fast. This is every 2 weeks. This is a schedule I like to be on. Keep the audience fed, happy, consuming that content. Speaking of ex-quad god Chase Snap, I learned tonight when Alec got here that Alec's also an ex-quad god. I don't know if he's quite god level like Chase is, but at least an ex-quad something.
I would not say I'm a quad god, but I did love racing quads for a long time, and every now and then I still ride, but once I started doing photos and video stuff, it just I just focused on that and kind of broke away from it.
So did you ever have dreams of racing quads professionally, or was it more just a fun thing?
Yeah, when I was younger, I mean, like maybe middle school or high school, is like, yeah, might, if I keep progressing, like I could do it, but definitely did not go that route.
Yeah.
It did not work out in that favor, but my cousin Zach, I started racing with him, and he was doing really well on the local level and regional level, and just kind of followed him. And then once he kind of started breaking away from it, just not racing as much, I kept racing, but like I said, I just started doing photos and video stuff more, and was getting more attention for that and getting paid to be at the races for it. So
Yeah, it's hard to turn that down. Did you finish traditional school, or did you get homeschooled when you were racing?
Yeah, I went to high school and college and everything. I went to, I wasn't homeschooled or anything. So.
Okay. So when did you make that transition into taking pictures and stuff?
I'd say like 2012, somewhere around there. I was trying to make sponsorship videos for myself. I had a few buddies get some clips for me, and I would
kind of like demo videos.
Yep.
Sponsor me, please.
Yep, pretty much. And I started putting videos together, and was kind of getting some recognition for that. And I just kind of started doing it for other people, and just kind of grew into what it is now. So
Hell yeah. So how did is it just kind of word of mouth, or did you put yourself out there and say like, hey, hire me to do a video? Or
it was kind of just word of mouth. Social media was starting to blow up around that time, and it was just I just kept sharing everything and just trying to promote it the best I could. But for the most part, it was just word of mouth. People telling other guys like, hey, this guy's local, he can make you a video, and worked out. So
yeah. So you started in more video work than you did in photography.
Yep.
You said you transitioned into photography more now before we got going.
Yeah, it's more photo now. When I'm working supercross and outdoors, there's just contracts and stuff. I can't really do any filming because there's already a crew there doing that and stuff. But they allow me to take photos, and since they did that, I was like, I still want to get content. So
yeah,
I just kept going with that.
So who's there that gets like exclusive rights to film? Other than Feld and NBC.
Yeah, I mean it's like Feld and NBC, and there's a couple other video guys like doing like the Yamaha series, the
Behind the Gate or something like that.
Yeah. But I mean they kind of helped Feld as well, so I don't know much about it. But.
What about a guy that just shows up, he's behind the gates and he's filming everything on his phone? Is that allowed?
I don't think so. I mean, they try to.
Because I know Buttery does it.
Yeah,
and he gets away with it. So I'm just kind of curious, like how that works out.
There are some people that get away with it, and I mean, they try to keep that out. But I mean, there's people that are going to get away with it. So
yeah.
It seems. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's weird because I feel like it's only helping the cause, right?
You would think so, and I was going to say I wonder how long that'll stay a rule, because with all these guys starting vlogs and stuff like Barsha.
I mean, the last round, Buddy was like fill-in mechanic for Paul Telly or whatever, but he filmed a lot.
Hold on, he was what?
Fill-in mechanic for Paul Telly.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But he was kind of like.
Is that supernaut slang?
Fill-in mechanic.
He filmed a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess you can film anything that you want from the stands, but he filmed a lot from like mechanics view.
Yeah, on the floor.
On that round.
I don't even know technically if you can film from the stands, right? Like the actual race.
How can they shut that down?
Well, you're right, but like I'm pretty sure if you
why would they want you?
I'm pretty sure if you were to like film like a main event and then post it on YouTube, NBC will copyright it. Like you can't monetize that video.
Right.
Yeah, but they're not going to shut it down though, right?
I don't think they would make you remove it, but you can't make money off of it, which is hurting guys that are doing these vlogs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like privateers trying to make money on YouTube doing race vlogs and things like that. Like Catanzaro, he films practice, but I think once qualifying starts, he can't film himself riding
I still
anymore.
think they're hurting themselves by doing something like that.
Oh, I agree, because it's just more visibility for the sport.
Yeah, but
yeah.
So how'd you get into that gig, Alec?
Well, with like supercross and outdoors, I was pretty much a weekend warrior. Like I was just going to every event that I could afford, and I'd film on the weekends, and I'd have to drive all through the night to get back to work, to the regular job. And it just got to a point where like I was like, man, I got to make a push and try to go to all these races or find something that's gonna allow me to be at all these races. And Davey Coombs, I sent him an email. I was like, hey man, like, do you guys have any projects coming up that I could help out with for the races? And I just want to be working at the races. And he got me in touch with John Ayers Jr., who's the owner of Gear Services, and they help set up for the outdoors. And he offered me a job right then. This was like 5 minutes within sending that email to Davey. I was like, holy shit, like this is really happening. And it's funny because I've been trying so hard to be at these races. And he gave me that opportunity. I was like, okay. And I had to break the news to the company that I was working at. And
what did you do before that? Like what was your job?
I worked in a sign shop for Budweiser, so Anheuser-Busch warehouse. I was just doing signage for liquor stores and stuff like that. And they were awesome to work for. They allowed me to go to the races, and but it just got to a point where I was trying to go to so many races. They were like, okay, you can't have this Friday off. Like, you're taking off a lot. I was like, okay. But, Mondays I'd come back from a race and go to work the next morning, and I probably wasn't worth the shit. So, but, I got the opportunity with Gear Services, and I broke the news to the company, and it was like, hey, like, I'm going to be leaving. Like, this is a great opportunity for me. And then COVID, that's during the time that COVID was hitting, and postponed the outdoor season after I already gave the news that I'm not going to be there after 2 weeks or whatever. And then I thought it was going to start in May, and I told them, I was like, yeah, this is starting in a couple weeks. Like, I got to leave. And then they rescheduled the series. I'm like, well, shit, do I still have a job to work until I find out if they're going to have the series or not? And luckily they were cool with me working up until the last point that I possibly could, and started with outdoors, and they allowed me to take my camera, so I was taking pictures during motos, and just kind of kept going with it.
So you didn't get hired as a photographer for this guy?
No, this is just to help set up. So like I started out and was helping put up the VIP tents and working on the live feeds for TV. Like all the VIP tents have TVs showing the race.
So you're working for the series itself.
Yeah. So I'm like,
What'd you do with all the pictures you took?
I would just send them out to like the riders, and send them out to RacerX and just companies that
they would license them from you.
Yeah, that I would hope that they would take the photos. And
yeah,
I mean, I honestly didn't get much out of that, but my first season at least. But once it grew into something, I was like, Davey was taking some of my photos and putting them in RacerX and stuff like that, which is huge for me.
Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah. And then once I got done with my first season outdoors, I was just kind of beating on doors, just hoping to be in the same position for supercross, and it worked out. So
that's awesome. So is that how you made your way into track crew for supercross too?
Yep. Yeah. After being able to put the outdoor season on the resume, and just knowing a few people in the industry that was doing supercross as well, they helped me out and put my name in there. So.
Yeah. So talk about being a track crew guy for supercross. What all what all do you do for them, and then what is it like being down on the track and stuff during the race?
So for the first season, I was I started out on banner crew, so I was just helping like hang banners and stuff, and then I kind of helped out with some of the structures, like putting up the finish line and manager's tower and stuff like that. But they didn't really know where to put me in the beginning. I was new to it, so just kind of going back and forth with that. And then honestly, for the most part, like I was washing tough blocks like all season,
Grunt work.
which I wasn't, mad about it because I was at the races. I was getting paid to be at the races, and it was something that I could just do by myself and just, put the headphones in and just clean tough blocks. Mm-hmm. But, it's a crazy experience. It's a lot of hard work, but being on the floor is just insane. Like with all those riders. I remember my interview, my boss was like, hey, how comfortable do you feel being on the track? I'm like, well, I'm a video guy. Like, I'm used to being close. Well, I didn't realize that we were going to be that close, and we are going to be chasing after, riders that fall over or stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's a rush, man.
So I saw, I think it was Brett Q commented on one of your posts. I was flipping through your Instagram earlier to get pictures for the post we made about you today, but he said something about jack of all trades. You help set up the podium, set up the track, build the track, all this other stuff. So you do more than just a flagger.
Yeah, like we're actually just the safety guys. We don't flag like during the races, but
that's a separate set of guys.
Yeah, they have a set of flaggers and they have track runners, which that's basically just chase after tough blocks or riders that
pick up bikes if they need them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this season, one of the very first races, Jalik Swole wrecked and his bike was locked wide open, and I happened to be the guy that was having trouble getting the bike up and killing it. We're supposed to kill the kill switch and pull it off the track, and the way it was set up, it was dug in the ground pretty good, and it was locked wide open, and I was hitting both. There was 2 switches on the bike, which I'm not used to that, but wasn't killing the bike, and I was like, oh shit, and got the bike off the track, and of course that became a meme and grew on social media. I was like, oh man, I had to be that guy. But we always get made fun of, but it's part of the job.
That's something important to get out there though, because we're definitely guilty of that. Like, what the fuck, just hit the kill switch, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of scenarios like that where I see like on memes or social media or whatever, and it's just like, man, had to be that guy. But
yeah, but there's they do have some interesting, unique setups on those bikes in terms of switches and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I sent the 2 of them on Instagram a few days ago. There's this guy, I can't remember his name. It's like JT615 or something on Instagram, but he'll take pictures of the factory bikes in the pits, and then he'll have like a long post of all the unique stuff they have on their bikes. And almost every bike has a redundant start switch.
Yeah.
And then they'd have like switches and stuff on their bars that stock bikes don't have. You don't even know what they all do. So
yeah, Alex over there switching his maps.
Yeah. That's.
So I wouldn't know where to go.
Yeah.
And like while that's going on, you got bikes, jumping over doubles like right next to you.
Right.
So you're just trying to get everything out of the way, and people are yelling at you on the radio, and it's like, oh god, like I don't. I just want to get out of here safely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm sure your heart rate is as high as the riders.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's got a radio in.
Yeah, so we have headsets inside your helmet.
How many people get to talking at the same time?
We have a button like on the side, so it could be there's one guy that's up in the stand somewhere. He's kind of like our eyes in the sky, and he'll tell us, there's a rider down in this corner. Somebody go get him, and he'll direct us. But there's so much going on in Supercross.
So it's not like it's not free traffic. Like you got to hit a button.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good, because I can only imagine how much voices be going on at the same time when a crash happens or something.
Oh yeah, and it's such a rush being out there. You get a guy that falls over or something, somebody's yelling at you on the radio to go get this, and they're trying to watch the whole track as well. So there could be guys wrecking at the same time, different sides of the track. And after this, Kawasaki, you can go. I'm like, all right, I take off running. No, not you, Alec. And it's like, oh shit, like I'm already committed. And, I'm taking off running. Like, oh god. But you got to watch out for yourself. But there are people that are trying to guide you. So
that's like an air traffic controller. That's probably a stressful job.
Yeah.
Especially if there's a race with a lot of wrecks.
Yeah.
So, Alec, I know you got a history. You've always been into like WWE, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
You got to see a little bit of that on the Supercross track this year.
Yeah, there were a few fights and a couple people getting thrown out of the race. I mean, this year was it Raper and Ray?
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking.
Yeah,
highlight reel.
Yeah, I remember that one, and it was kind of one of those situations that we've never been in. So
everybody's like, "What do we do?"
Yeah, like the track crew guys are just sitting there like, "Oh shit, they're fighting, they're swinging," and we're getting called in on the radio like, "Stop them!" Like, stop. I was like, "Okay, here we go." But early on in the season, we had a few fans that just hopped over the rail.
Streaking?
Yeah, no, not streaking, but had one guy that was just like, I don't know if he's just drunk or what, but he was just walking out.
Might have been me
Around the track. But he was completely lost. Like, it wasn't like he wasn't doing it as a joke. Like, he didn't know where he was at.
Oh, God.
Fell off the rail and woke up and said, well, shit, where am I at, boy?
We actually had a kid that fell off the rail and landed on the floor, and I heard that one on the radio. It's like, yeah, we just got some kid that fell off the railing. Like, he's on the floor right now, and had to get him back to his parents. But yeah, I mean, this is new to me this season, my second season, but we just had a lot of crazy stuff happen. So
how does that even happen? Don't they usually have the first like 10 rows covered in banners?
Yeah, I don't know if he like crawled through it or what, but it just somehow he just landed on the floor.
What's the craziest call you've got?
Well, like that guy that was completely lost on the track. This was like in between races, so there wasn't like
how old was this dude?
Probably 30s, something like that.
Oh, he wasn't that old. So.
Yeah, but he was out on the floor and nobody knew what to do really. And then our boss is on the radio and he's like, "Go tackle him! Like, get him off the track." A few of our guys was like, "Man, I don't want to tackle him. Like, what if he has something on it?"
Like during the main event, or
this is like in between races. So I think it was like in between
down period.
Yeah, a few of the heats or something like that. But yeah, that was
so.
That was a trip.
Did you hear what happened with the dude? Like,
I know security escorted him out, but I didn't hear anything after that. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Wonder what his goal was.
I mean, it sounds like he didn't even have a goal. He was just wandering.
Yeah, it looked like. I mean, he looked like he was pretty lost.
I mean, I'd like to hear this.
He's trying to get back to the crib or something.
I thought I seen some dirt. I thought I was home before I jumped in. Like, I don't know.
Wanted to take a shortcut to the beer stand. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't want to walk all the way around.
Found my way into the middle of the track and no beer stands there.
Oh shit, that's cool. So outdoors, are you still a part of the operations, or are you more just media?
Yeah, I'm still operations. I'm still working. I helped do the pro parking on the first part of the week, and then I transfer over to the live stream, the TV feeds and stuff for the VIP tents. And then luckily, like during the motos, we don't have much to do. So during the races, I get to take photos. And for Supercross, I only get to take photos during press days and stuff like that. But yeah, for outdoors, I get to take pictures during the motos, and that means a lot to me because that's the pictures that they want. So.
Yeah, outdoors, it's a lot bigger scale. It'd be hard to. I mean, you can't have some guy in the stands telling you what's going on because it's a lot bigger track, so you can't really see much what's going on.
Yep, and basically, like during the motos for outdoors, if they break down the repeater banner or something, like we're required to go fix that, which that's fine. But that's pretty much all we need to do during the races. So.
Yeah. So when you say live feed for the VIP tents, what are you talking about there?
So like in the VIP sections for the outdoors, they have us hang up TVs that just do the live stream for the races.
So like the team managers and stuff can watch them.
Well, yeah, VIP tents. I mean, whoever buys a VIP ticket can watch the race from the TV. Like have like
so anybody can buy one of those tickets.
Yep.
Okay.
It's like catering. Or the VIP tent has catered food and stuff like that, so they can all just hang out under a tent and watch the race if they can't see the full track where they're at. So.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been to a bunch of Supercrosses, but I've never been to an outdoor national, so I don't know what all's there.
You should definitely go to one.
I want to. Yeah, that's just a lot of them are far now. I mean, especially now that they don't do Freestone anymore.
Yeah,
that was the closest one for a long time.
Yeah, what's the closest one to here? Probably Ironman.
Is that Indiana?
Yep.
That or Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Colorado's what, 8 hours?
I think so, because isn't it in the southeast corner of the state?
Right where Denver's at.
Oh, it's in Denver.
Yep.
It's not in Denver. It's in
it's
Lake Spring or
Lakewood.
Lakewood.
Yeah, towards Denver, though.
But I think it's like 30 minutes from Denver or something
That's
like that.
farther than 8 hours, I think, but I'm not sure.
I've been there twice, but I have no idea how far it is away. I just think it's about 8 hours.
I don't actually know. That's just the number I have in my head.
I was asleep on the drive there back in the day, so I don't know. But I think it's about 8 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, 8 hours is a long time for me in a car, but it ain't that far.
Yeah.
Reasonable.
Chase just got back from the bathroom, but we were talking about the outdoor nationals. How we haven't been to one. I know you've been to one, but
He's raced them all. He's been there like quad god. Come on now.
No, I think I've only been to one, and that was I don't know if you say Paula. Fox Raceway now.
What were you doing out there?
So it was 2011, the last year I raced
Quad
quads.
stuff.
And
Quad stuff.
And
you were out there.
our banquet was with the dirt bikes. So, and the last outdoor was at that track, and the banquet was that night. So the bikes raced Saturday, and then Saturday night was the banquet, and it was awesome. Like, it was a time of my life, honestly. It was at I think it was called Pachanga. It's like a casino. It's kind of like Hard Rock, like a casino resort place. And so we were in this nice ass hotel. Basically got to go watch the outdoor race, and as soon as it was over, everybody headed to the hotel, took a shower, and then it was like hang out for a little bit and then go to the banquet. And then after the banquet, everybody's hanging out in the casino. You know, you're hanging out next to, Baggett and Dungy and all them guys, all in the same place. But basically, we got to go up on the stage and get our awards in front of all the pro dirt bike guys and teams and stuff, which honestly was a little like, I was, our banquets were always really nice, but I was really nervous because it's in front of all the dirt bike guys that are basically like hate quads.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what are these guys doing up here with us? It's kind of what I felt like. But honestly, it wasn't that bad. Like,
They were getting hammered, dude.
We didn't get booed or
It's their
anything.
only time to get hammered. They were hammered.
Like, it was actually pretty cool. So
Was my sister there or not?
Yeah, she was there.
I thought so. All right. Just making sure.
I mean,
my sister's been doing outdoor national, but I
haven't. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, they had to like respect the game a little bit.
That's I catch a lot of shit for being a quad guy and all that, but since I've been working these races and stuff, as soon as they find out, they're like, "Oh, quad guy, huh?" And then they'll like pull me aside and he's like, "Man, I watched them race at Ironman and a few other races. Like, those guys kick ass. Like, they're no joke." And it's like, "Thank you."
Yeah. No, I mean, I just give him shit to give him shit, but I never thought that pro quad racing was any kind of bullshit at all.
Yeah. No, it ain't. It's just not as big a deal as dirt bikes.
Right, yeah, which is unfortunate, but
yeah, and I feel like what you're saying, Alec, recently is it's been more accepted. Like, it's been talked about on the Pulp MX podcast and the Digging Deep ATV podcast with Hetrick and then Heath Harrison and the Phoenix guys.
Yeah,
swapping quads and bikes, and they've really like put it out there. Like, dude, these guys are no joke.
Yeah.
And a lot of people they haven't been to a pro quad race, and now that they've got to race with the bikes a few times, those guys, I feel like they see it. But it's the dirt bike racers that weren't there and they're just at the amateur races or whatever.
Yeah,
they have no clue, and they just see the local goon that's making a fool of himself.
Yeah, there's no problem with quads. The dudes are extremely talented that race them, but it's not a dirt bike. And it's not a professional dirt bike race. I can tell you that right now.
No, there is a difference for sure. But it's still the top level guys. They put in just as much effort and work and all that. But they're
just not a dirt bike guy.
Have you guys seen the MX versus ATV video that Blake Shipman produced?
Long time ago?
Yeah, it was a long time ago with Trey and Thomas Brown.
At Kennard's house,
yep.
Yeah.
I got to help out with that. I was kind of more just behind the scenes video stuff, but it was cool just to see like Trey's reaction to Thomas going out there. He's like, "Do you think you could hit that jump?" And Thomas like, "Yeah, I think so." And he goes out and hits it, and everybody's just like, "Whoa!" Like, so but it was just cool to see like the difference or different reactions between the two guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I got to chime in on this because Austin and I recently, like a couple months ago, got to ride that track. Greg Albertson had an open ride day out there.
Yeah.
And so me and Austin went because we never got to ride it. And there's that big tabletop, Austin, that neither of us jumped the whole thing. And Thomas hit that on quad.
It's a big motherfucker.
That's a big jump. And
I mean, if I had a couple days out there to get a feel for the flow, I'd probably.
Yeah, no, I mean, but I'm just saying, you imagine
that first lap on the quad, second lap.
Pitt would have
on the quad.
Back in my prime days, like jumps like that didn't scare me. I mean, it was one lap, look at it, and then jump it the next.
Yeah,
but I think that's what we're getting at is they're getting a lot of respect from those guys.
I ain't saying they're not gnarly. I'm just saying there's a reason that the motocross is what it is and quads is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But the quad guys, believe me, I tried to race a quad. It's for people that like four wheels. I don't know what to say.
We talked about that today at lunch. We brought up when you raced. Alec, I think you probably raced there when TQRA went to, you remember Valley Moto?
Yep. That was one of my favorite tracks.
You were probably, I think you were there, 2010. Thomas Brown came, and I actually rode one of his Yamahas at that race. Supernaw came and rode one of our Suzukis and raced the C-Class. I think he did all right. He got third or fourth.
Yes, sir.
But it was so funny to
Put my
watch.
leg out in the corner and started flipping, bull.
He really did stick his leg out in a corner.
I did way better than I thought. Like there was what I thought was a huge triple, which I don't know. It wasn't that big of a triple, but I was hitting it. But every time I was getting way too sketchy. I mean, once the quad starts going one way, I'm with it. I'm with it. There's no recovery. We're just going with it, baby. See how she lands. But every time I'd land sideways and just slap. But no, it was a good time. But quad, there's nothing wrong with quads. They're extremely hard to ride for someone like me. I don't know what else to say about them. Chase can ride the shit out of one.
I started out on mini quads and
hitting rollers in the sand, baby. Come on now.
Well, I mean, we take it to Extreme World, but even doing that, like, come off the ground 2 feet and the quad just wants to go sideways.
Yeah, that's my problem with quads. I don't know how to recover.
Yeah.
Once I hit the face, and if the face sends me one way, I'm going that way.
But it's probably just like when you first start jumping dirt bikes.
No.
Like, you see a lot of dudes.
I started with bicycles. I knew how to jump a bike.
No, I'm saying like when people first start jumping dirt bikes, their front end's always up or their ass end's always up. Like one of the two. It's one of them things you got to figure out how to do.
I think that's my problem. I never had to figure out how to do that, but the quad, I just don't know. I don't know what you do. You ask Chase, he says, I don't know, jump it. I try to jump it.
Jumping a dirt bike's not the same as jumping a bicycle. It's definitely different.
Jumping a bicycle is a lot harder, in my opinion.
I agree.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. My experience jumping a bicycle is very bad.
Maybe that's where
dirt bike.
Maybe that's where the skill got developed. I don't know.
Because you got to pull on a bicycle. On a dirt bike, it's more about throttle control.
Dirt bike's about weight distribution.
Right, which weight distribution and throttle control.
Throttle, yeah, it's similar. Bike's all about body, position, and weight.
Because if you don't know how to use your weight off the face of a jump and you gas it right at the lip, you're going to have a fucking nose wheelie going through the air. Larry. Full Larry.
Here's what I'm dealing with on a quad. I come up on the face. It seems straight. I start going this way, left, or right, whichever way you want to do it, and I just keep going that way. I'm sailing through the air. I have I don't know how to control it. I don't know what to do. I just hold on and pray. That's what I did every time I've ever jumped a quad.
How do you control that, Chase? Let's hear it.
He was right. I really don't have an explanation. I think it's just something you learn over time.
Instinctual.
I think he just comes up to the face and just pushes through it. I can't push through
it. How do you know which way it's going to go?
You can maneuver it, but I think it's more of like kind of like Supernaw coming up to a jump, kind of already knows what the bike's going to do when it hits the jump.
Right.
Just by looking at it and the feel of, the speed coming up, that kind of stuff. That's how I was on a quad. Just kind of knew what was going to happen and how to prepare for it to prevent something from happening.
Yeah.
To where it never really got too far out of shape. Mm-hmm. But if it did, you kind of just learn to maneuver it a little bit.
Yeah.
But also, I will say, it's been 11 years since I raced one. But watching some of the guys now, the way they maneuver it, it's impressive to me because it's way more than I did back in the day. I mean, like I'd hit a jump, you try to get a little bit of style, moving around. You can't really whip a quad. Well, nowadays there are some guys doing it. They still land a little crooked.
Tough.
But looking at what they do now compared to back then, it's impressive. Like Brandon Hogue is one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
I know, Alec, you've seen his stuff. And Hetrick, of course, and all the top guys. But Hogue, I mean, he literally he'll throw his quad almost sideways, and he'll bring it back almost all the way. It still lands a little crooked, but it's something that I thought I was doing back then, throwing it out, but, I get a little crooked and come back. But he's literally throwing it almost 90 degrees and then bringing it back.
The only other thing I got about quads, which this is for a dirt biker, hard to learn. When you hit a corner, like you literally throw your complete, like your whole ass, everything into like one side of the quad.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're hitting the right, you're deep into it. There's nothing on the seat, maybe your leg. That's it. And you're that far deep. But me, I'm sitting there straight up, leg out, flip. But I mean, you gotta you watch videos of quad riders, watch them in a corner. Mm-hmm. Look what they're doing. Like their whole weight is just off to that side, but I just didn't comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I still struggle on dirt bikes, is because I had to go from that to what you're supposed to do on a bike.
Yeah,
that's tough.
If you put you on a dirt bike, me on a quad, your skills probably outweighing my quad to dirt bike ratio, I think.
I agree. I got you beat.
What do you think about like right when you made the switch though? Like first day riding dirt
wide
bikes,
open,
first day riding
sketchy
quads.
as shit, lost his
Super
finger,
was there.
broke his arm.
No, I broke my back first.
Everything got broke.
I broke my back, then came
I broke
back.
nothing on the quad.
But that's what I'm saying. Like your first day on a quad, your first day on a bike. Who do you think would win?
Me.
I don't know. Probably pretty close.
Yeah.
Honestly, my first day on a bike, I was
broke my back.
Yeah, I mean, I crashed a lot, but I was
Final.
At least top 5 seat novice class.
D, come on now.
But I quickly, improved. But it was like you said, I did get hurt a lot. I crashed every time we go ride. I'd crash. but I think the biggest thing was my mentality was I was a pro rider, but I didn't have the skill on a bike, and I wanted to be a pro dirt bike rider, but it was a total different skill, and I was trying to just use my mindset of I can go fast, and I wasn't used to going slow on the track,
right?
And so that's why I'd crash and mess up all the time.
Yeah, well, and this is something we kind of got off of it, but I was thinking about like when you hit a jump on a dirt bike, you've got one axis to worry about, like forward and backwards, pretty much. Unless, I mean, obviously you can throw a whip and you introduce more, but when you're hitting a jump and you dead sailor it, you've got one axis to worry about. The bike's either going to go forward or backwards 9 times out of 10. On a quad, you got 2 axes to worry about. The quad can either go forward or backwards, or it can fucking go side to side. So
that's true.
So I'm just thinking about like when you hit a jump, not only are you're weighting the front of the quad as you go up the face. I'm guessing it works the same way as you would on a bike. That's what you do when you hit a jump on a bike. And then also you're like having to sort of instinctually manage the side to side movement. I'm just curious like how that works, because on a dirt bike, unless you hit like a sketchy ass fucking kicker going up a face, you're not going to get thrown to the side,
Yeah, and two, your on quad, your wheels are 4 foot apart from each other. The face of the jump, 4 foot, on one side versus the other can be totally different.
Right.
And so then that will naturally try to throw you. But I feel like the quad only races, it's not that bad. Most of the jump phases are pretty level.
Like a highway.
They get packed in pretty hard. Mm-hmm. So you really don't have to worry about that too much. Whereas like a dirt bike race, you move over 4 foot, it could be, a foot difference on the lip of the jump.
Start testing out your freestyle legs.
Right. So I don't know. It's just one of them things. It's hard to explain, and just with experience,
I was going to say an inside joke, but a lot of people know about it. But we went to Norman last April, and that's what happened to me. I got out of the main line trying to pass a guy, and I hit a kicker and just got launched off the bike.
He did a unwilling Superman.
Yeah, I held on to it, but it was a bad crash. But anyway, yeah, that's interesting discussion. I can't really wrap my mind around how you would do that, manage 2 different directions of possible kick at one time.
You can't.
Yeah. So Alec, outside of trying to send stuff to RacerX and things like that, do you sell photos on the side? Do you do anything but photograph racing?
I've sent out to a few other companies, and last season I was able to work with some of the activation crew, like trying to get sponsors on for the next season, and like taking pictures of like what their what the signage looked like this last season. Like Twisted Tea was a big sponsor for outdoors, and I was able to get photos of their setup and everything like that. But for the most part, I've just been sending RacerX and just a few of the riders that I know, so they can share it out or post it, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Is that really the only outlet that's big enough to be like selling your pictures to?
No, I mean there's other companies out there, but I just started to send it to Davey because I worked with RacerTV doing the quad stuff, and just, I mean, I've talked to him enough to where like I just feel like I can just send them to him, and if they're good enough, he'll use them. If not, whatever.
Yeah. So is that your main? So I guess do you make money through the track operation side of things?
Right.
That's your main bread and butter.
Yep. That's the main line. But I would love to get on the media side of things, but I mean, this is my foot in the door, and just going to keep doing operations.
Yeah.
Until that day comes.
You're kind of a starving artist at the moment.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I understand. Yeah. What kind of camera are you working with?
Right now I'm working with a Canon 90D. I just started using it probably 3 months ago.
That's a pretty high dollar rig, isn't it?
It's not bad.
Oh, really?
It's probably $1,000, something like that.
I thought that was higher. Is it the lower numbers like the? No, I'm thinking of Sony, like the Mark 7 and all that stuff. Those are expensive, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, there's some really expensive cameras out there, but
it's more when you get into glass,
yeah,
than it is the actual body, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was using Canon Rebel T3i for a long time. I think I got that camera in like 2011 or 2012, and I just quit using it maybe 3 or 4 months ago. So, but trying to upgrade and just get better at it and see what happens.
Yeah. What do you prioritize when you buy a camera? Do you spend more money on lenses, or do you try to get a body that has the functionality that you like?
I tried to upgrade with the body, but I was just able to afford the lens maybe 2 seasons ago. So I got the 70 to 200 2.8 lens, and I noticed a big difference on that because I was just using a kit lens all the races, and it was like I thought I was getting kick-ass photos, but like once I started using another lens, I was like, okay, like this is
is it 2.8 all the way out?
No,
that the aperture changes, or f-stop, whatever it is. I know about cameras, but I'm not a camera expert.
I'm not a camera guru. Like, I don't know much about it, to be honest with you.
You just point to some bitch and hit the button.
I mean, I'm shooting in manual, and like I'm learning things, but I'm just around a lot of good photo guys that help me out and guide me in the right direction. So
what I always heard was shooting raw, shoot with a flat profile, and use a DSLR. That's what I've always heard. That's about the advice that I know. Yeah.
I mean, it goes back and forth. Some guys are like, man, don't use a DSLR, and then some, are just using strictly video cameras. And, I'm cool with whatever, as long as it gets a good shot. I'm happy with it.
Well, it's like there's a guy that comes to the state races. I haven't seen him in a while, actually, but his name's Peanut Griffin. He has a little media company called Vague Dream Productions. Get that out. He shoots video with a DSLR, and I started out doing that, but I had a Nikon D5300, and the image stabilization on it was horrible. Like, it was so shaky trying to video with that thing, especially with a 300 millimeter lens.
Yeah.
And so I bought that, which has amazing image stabilization, but you don't get the same depth of field, And Peanut walked up and he's like, I don't know how you get footage of that thing. Like, you're a wizard with that camcorder, you know. It's
Your
like,
new one or your old one?
with that one, yeah. But yeah, because that's the downside of filming with one of those is you don't get the depth of field that you do with a traditional DSLR. So it doesn't look quite as cinematic. But if you're far away and you zoom in, you can get a lot of depth of field. But then, like, your image stabilization starts to degrade as you get out there, you know. Yeah, I'd like to take more pictures, but I sold my DSLR and invested all the money into that thing because that was like I think that was like $1,100 for that camera.
Yeah.
And then I've pretty much quit using it this season. But
well, that stuff's expensive, man. I mean, you can go any which way and just dive into it. It's like, okay, I got a lot of money to spend here to to get certain things. But I mean, like I said, I was using that Rebel T3i. I mean, it's an old ass camera, but I was still getting some good shots on it, and it was good enough to be published in magazine and stuff. So that's, you know.
Yeah, it's more about the operator and knowing the shot and all that stuff. I had a buddy that takes pictures of storms, and he's got, I can't remember what it is. What do you call the cameras? They're not DSLRs, but they're still point and shoot cameras. I can't remember what they're called. Mirrorless.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a mirrorless camera. And he took some storm pictures with that thing that look unbelievable. And I think he paid like $400 for this camera. And he sold some of them for a good amount of money.
That's awesome.
I'm like, fuck, you see these guys out here with like $10,000 rigs, you know, taking pictures, and you're over here with $400 worth of equipment selling your pictures.
We had a photographer at Supercross this season. They have like a photo den that's like close to the track that everybody's able to work on their pictures after the race and everything. And somebody got in there and stole his lens, and it ended up being like $11,000 lens that got stolen. I was like, that made me sick to my stomach. Like, I'll never be able to afford a lens like that, but just, you know, just to have something stolen like that.
That had to have been like a track crew person, huh?
I don't know who it was, but
I mean, they're not just anybody's down there, right?
Right. I mean, unless it was like somebody, you know, working
that 30-year-old that act like he was lost.
Maybe. But I mean, it could have been somebody from the stadium that works there. I don't know, but yeah, it just sucks because he lost it and didn't get it back. So
that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, he might have spent $800 on the camera body, and then he's got an $11,000 lens.
That's what's crazy.
It's fucking nuts.
That's how you know that people make up prices for shit.
Right.
Just my opinion, I would bet it would have to be a stadium worker because, for the most part, I don't know. You can tell me more because I'm friends with you on all social media, and I see a lot of your posts.
Yeah.
And some of the workers you've worked with are, you know,
sketchy.
A little shady. But also, you go to Dallas and you see the crew, you know, that's running the concession stands and the little, you know, booths and stuff. I feel like it that would fit that narrative a little better.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the races, I mean, we get like,
I mean, I hate the stereotype.
No,
people,
yeah,
but
I get what you're saying. A lot of the guys that we work with, we'll get local crews each week. And you never know what you're going to get with that. I mean, there's people that are already drunk walking in like, I'm ready to help. It's like, you're going to have to go with that crew. You know, I don't want you operating or, you know, with me when I'm operating something. Yeah, that's,
do they use like a temp agency or something?
Yeah. For like the structures on Supercross and stuff, we'll use a company that's like high end,
legit.
Good workers that, you know, stage hands that know what they're doing. But yeah, we'll get some local workers to like tear the plastic and help cut down banners and stuff like that. But definitely some sketchy people.
So how many of you are there that are like you that are travel the whole thing?
For Supercross, it's I want to say it's like 22 people that just travel to each round, and that's like banners, structures, and yeah, those crews.
I want to ask you this because I see all your Snapchats and stuff. So Alec, I don't know if it's just certain races, but like he will go to Sam's or Costco or wherever and buy snacks, drinks, chips, all this shit for the track crew.
Yeah.
What's the highest bill you've had? I mean, it's like he'll have an SUV packed to the ceiling, the whole back of it.
So I got nominated to do the shopping trips for Supercross, and for our crew, like we'll have a show office, and during the week, I mean, we're working crazy hours and stuff, so they have all kinds of food and shit like that for us. And last year we stayed in the same city for 2 weeks and had multiple races. So
Salt Lake?
Salt Lake, and
then Atlanta, right?
yeah, for a few others. I can't remember how many loadouts we did last year, but so yeah, do the shopping trips, and I think there's been a few times where I look over and it's like $1,500, maybe $2,000 or something like that. So close to that, but I'm just in charge of getting the drinks. Like Gina, our office manager, she has a list for me, and I just go run around Sam's and get all the drinks and pick out some chips. And
One question I have, we maybe already went over this, but who do you actually work for? Like who signs your checks?
For Supercross, I work for Feld.
Feld signs your checks?
Yep, Feld Entertainment. So
outdoor changes?
Outdoors, it's Gear Services. That's the company that's contracted
Gear
out.
Services.
Yep.
Never even heard of them.
They
Have you?
No, tell them tonight.
So they're a big part
so
of
the
outdoors?
series is paying Gear Services to do their logistic work, basically, of setting up the track and all that.
setting up the signage and all
the
that stuff.
the pit area that has what 15
makes it look good.
easy ups connected with TVs underneath there and all that shit.
Yep.
Is it the same flagger crew for every race?
No, so like most of the time it's just like local guys that want to help out for the flagging position, and
that's really surprising.
We have a guy that's like the head flagger, John Tillman. He's awesome, but
he tells them how it is.
Yeah,
you have like a big meeting, and he's like, "Hey,
yep,
here's how it goes."
I think they have like a 45-minute meeting
because everybody learns everything in 45 minutes. You know what I mean? So we got great flaggers out there.
He's really good at his job, but he lines them out and just helps guide everybody. And he's also got a headset on the track, so he's guiding.
So do the same flaggers that throw a yellow throw a red cross, or is that a different crew?
It's the same crew.
Because a yellow in pros means nothing. It just means like, hey,
there might be somebody down. Watch out.
But a red cross is like, all right, you gotta roll.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're handed a certain amount of flags or whatever throughout the track. But
but like you said, they have a headset, so somebody's telling them, hey, throw the red cross.
Yeah.
But like he said earlier though, they all hear that. And he was running across the track earlier. Like, what the fuck's going on? So
they're on a different channel, so I don't get to hear what they're doing for flaggers. But yeah, John Tillman, he runs that crew, and this season we had a few guys that just wanted to go to all of them. So
that's good.
They
traveled. They know what they're doing.
And I don't know how much money they're making or anything, but it's not much money.
Shit.
And then I think they get like a few extra tickets for their family if they're from that area. But they've been a big help, and this season was awesome because they had those guys travel, so they were able to help us on loadout, and they helped cut down banners and stuff like that. So that was awesom.
So they're being directed.
Dude, back in the day though, I would have helped you cut down banners because I would have stole like 5, or at least me. I don't know about Chase, but me and him would have stole at least 5. So that would have cut down time.
So you'd be one of the guys that pisses me off during outdoors because after the race, there's guys that travel to the races, like fans that have snips in their back pocket just ready to go for banners.
Oh yeah, I was definitely that guy back at Punk and Nationals.
So the flaggers, like there's somebody directing them the whole time.
Yep.
Like, hey, you're in the whoops. Hey, you need to put out a yellow flag. You need to put out. Okay.
Yep. We got to write
that makes
down.
sense.
They're on radio.
Yeah, because it's the same deal at the state races. Like everybody's just like volunteer almost. I mean, they get paid some dog shit money, but it's mostly volunteer. And there's like 2 guys that come to every race that really know what they're doing, and the rest of them are just fucking woo.
And there's no radio, so they can be looking at their phone and not even see a bike down.
On OnlyFans.
I like
Austin
pretty much
shit doing a Superman. Where's the yellow, bub?
Pretty much. Was there not a yellow on that?
I don't know. I wasn't worried about the yellow, bub. I was looking at you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times like you'll see a crash and the flaggers just woo, and I'm like, wave the fucking flag, but They act like they make zero money on that series, so they probably can't do anything better.
Dude, they're getting paid probably $6 an hour to sweat their ass off.
Well, Natalie did it at Raynard's. I think they paid her $25 for an 8-hour day. Fuck off.
Yeah, I'd have been directly on my phone. Like, come on now.
Yeah. Natalie was like, well, yeah, I'm never flagging again.
Well, rider safety is only important when someone gets hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. You know, she was like, I was like, they're not going to pay you any money. And she was like, I want to do it. I've never done it before. Which, you know, if you've never done it before, it probably does sound kind of fun.
Never cleaned a shitter out, but don't plan to anytime in the near future. You know what I mean?
But, I mean, I learned that lesson when I was like 11 years old at TMX. I went out and flagged, and same deal. It's like 8-hour deal for $20.
No, but it would be cool, though, if Supercross, Motocross had a legit program.
Like flag crew?
Qualified flaggers.
Yeah.
Well, Supercross, I mean, it's a good setup. I mean, John.
I mean, if they're being directed by somebody, then, you know, like, hey, you need to wave the yellow flag. Oh, okay.
I mean, everybody's directed by somebody, but I'm talking about somebody that really knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
No, I think, like, kind of what Alex saying.
I ain't
The
saying
flag crew has been-
Supercross ain't that bad.
Yeah,
but
I haven't seen. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. There's been a little bit of flaws. You know, blue flags are one of them sometimes.
I mean, they have lights
But
on triples.
I mean,
what you guys are
that's like
talking about is what sometimes you see at a local race.
Yeah, I'm talking
or-
about local shit.
Yeah, Supercross, you don't see somebody missing. You know, to put the
No.
yellow flag
No,
out.
from what
a yellow flag, like I said, doesn't matter at all. In
No, you're
Supercross.
right. No, I know.
But what we're
at
saying
least
is they're on top of their shit.
Yes, no, I don't really have any complaints with Supercross.
I have thought about that though. Like
There's some times that the red flag needed to come out that didn't, but
That is true.
That's kind of a tough
for
call
the
to make,
Supercross
so.
riders. You'll watch. You can see them come out of a corner, and it's just corner and triple, and they can't see the landing, and they're waving a yellow flag, and they hit it just basically hoping that somebody's not on the landing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like when there's yellow flag in Supercross, that means nothing. That just means okay,
Keep an eye out, basically.
I'm still racing.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean to move over one way or the other. It doesn't mean anything. It
Basically
just
puts
means
them
race.
on alert though that there's an issue.
You're right about the red flag thing, though. Like Dean Wilson bleeding out from his asshole.
That was fucked.
That needed to be a red
That was
flag.
Yeah.
Dean Wilson talked about it on Pulp. That was the most fucked thing I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, he was out of the way. It was safe racing. It wasn't safe
Yeah.
Dean Wilson, which
No.
any rider at any level should be priority number one.
Right.
But that was just a fuck situation. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if somebody didn't know how serious his injury was, but
Yeah.
it just happened that way.
Yeah, I mean, the medics could have been too caught up in what was going on to be like, hey, you need to fucking...
I mean, when someone's bleeding
'Cause
out,
they got radios
when
too,
someone's
right?
bleeding
Yeah.
out, your main concern is going to be stop the bleeding.
Right.
You know, you're not even the medics weren't even worried about no red flag. Nobody's worried about that. He's just worried about like, let's stop this bleeding. So
That's
that he
probably
don't
what
die
it
right
was.
here.
It was
Those
more-
guys are probably in the zone. Didn't even.
Yeah, it was
think
probably
about
like,
But yeah,
hey,
that was a for
we're
sure.
gonna... They were probably thinking, we're going to waste time moving him off the track. We need to get this taken care of right now.
Yeah,
But even still, they could have stopped the race.
should have been a red flag. But I mean, Dean's okay as far as I
Hey,
know.
I like his videos and stuff since.
I mean,
since
it's
that.
Dean. What do you expect?
I just saw the couple when he was in the hospital. I haven't seen it.
Oh,
recently.
you got to see the
Oh,
one.
his old lady's taking care of that
he's
asshole.
he's laying by the pool, laying on his stomach, and it's an ad I think for FMF, and he's like oh, and she pulls a set of FMF goggles out of his ass basically, and then he's like, oh, what was that? And then it's a 65 pipe, and it's basically FMF stuff that they're promoting.
That's
It was
funny.
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
that's
just have to
awesome.
watch it.
That's cool that they're getting paid to in commercials for that stuff. That's like stuff you see with golfers.
What do you mean getting paid?
Well, like I feel like
I'm sure FMF gave him. There's an incentive there for.
yeah, like FMF paid him to do that.
I
Commercial.
mean, Dean did the incentive of being a good social media guy.
Yeah.
I mean, FMF didn't hit him up and say, "Hey,
oh,
let's do this."
it wasn't like a TV commercial. It was just like an Instagram thing.
Yeah, it was
It's just
social
Dean.
media.
It's just-
I mean, maybe
just-
it's just part of his contract, or
No, it's just Dean doing Dean.
Because you'll see like Ricky Fowler on a TV commercial during a golf tournament.
Ricky Fowler is most definitely getting paid,
I
but
know.
Dean
I'm-
Wilson is just doing Dean.
Yeah, I know.
That's how he makes money.
I thought he was saying it was a TV commercial. That's why I
well,
said that.
we'll never know for sure what the deal is. I was just thinking,
But no,
him being
it-
hurt. Either one, he is basically thanking them because they pay him a good amount of money, and so he did that. Or while he's not racing, they're like, hey, you can promote a little bit, and we'll give you a little bonus here.
Could be. Yeah.
No, it's just for sure Dean
The
being
fuck
Dean.
You don't
you
know.
know?
That's
You
what I'm
don't
saying.
know.
None of us know.
All right, tell me this: is Dean not one of the best promoters of anything?
Oh, he's awesome. I mean, the content he
which
comes
is
out with.
Do you think
That's a great
FMF hit
reason
him up and said, "Hey, let's pull goggles out of your ass"?
Yes, that's.
I mean,
good.
he might have come up with the
No,
idea.
Dean
but-
came up with it. Dean is doing Dean.
No, but we're saying
Okay.
FMF might have paid him to do something. That's what we're saying.
Dean came up with the idea. FMF probably supported him. But FMF did not come up with any of Dean's ideas. Dean is just
No,
creative.
that's not what we were saying. We were saying that FMF probably paid him to do some kind of ad.
Well, you started off thinking it was a commercial. It's definitely
That's
not a
what. Yeah,
commercial.
that's what I thought Chase said.
No, sir.
All right, we're at 1 hour, so let's roll to a couple commercials real quick, and then we'll be right back. Is your bike looking thrashed right now? Those beautiful graphics you used to send pictures of to your buddies are looking roached out? Then you need to head over to SSI Decals. SSI Decals is our choice at Pit Racing for graphics on all of our bikes because they continue to set the standard for aftermarket graphics in the off-road vehicle industry. They carry a complete line of graphics kits for MX bikes, quads, side-by-side, sport bikes, snowmobiles, you name it, they make graphics for it. The kits are made from highly durable, ultra-pliable, wreck-resistant vinyl, and they're easy to apply. Their triple-layer, aggressive 3M brand adhesive will not come off, and it'll hold up to even the most unforgiving conditions. So if you need to freshen up your bike for this upcoming race season, head over to ssidecals.com, and they'll get you hooked up. Motocross families tend to be really busy. Whether it's working on bikes during the week after work or racing them on the weekends, it's hard to find time to take care of your lawn. Progressive Lawn and Pest in Tulsa has been servicing lawns in the Tulsa metro area since 2005. They've built a solid reputation in the community for outstanding work and ability to follow through on commitment and professional lawn care and pest control services. They use quality products that get results you can see, and their technicians are highly trained and will stop at nothing until you're completely satisfied. They're licensed by the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, and they've had a Better Business Bureau rating of A+ since 2011. Give Progressive Lawn and Pest a call today at 918-978-5296 and tell them the Pit Racing sent you over there, and give yourself one less thing to worry about around the house.
Hey, what about oh, we're back on that one.
We are back on. We are live. Don't be incriminating yourself over there. I got to make sure my phone's on Bluetooth here. We got to call Crosshead Craig.
Ooga dooga.
JT, what was it? JT Power Sports. That's what it is.
Hey, as soon as he answers, we just say, "What's up, Crossroad Craig? You down or not?"
I mean, I'll say it to him.
All right, we're good then.
We dial this thing up here.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
You better answer. He might be running the water truck.
Come on now, dude.
I was gonna say it's just now getting dark. He's probably just coming in from the track.
This is Jeremy with JT Power Sports. Please leave a message and we'll return your...
Crosshead Craig, come on now.
We'll call him again here in a little bit. All right. So while we're waiting on that, let's go ahead and do a recap of round 3 of the OSCS at Jandebuer, Big Man Bob,
J-Bob,
J-Bob,
J-Bone,
Bob Jandebuer,
Bobby's.
Bobby Bob.
Where do we want to start?
Oh, hold on. There he is.
Crosshead Craig.
Crosshead Craig, you're on the Pit Racing Podcast.
What's up, man?
How you doing, Jeremy?
Oh, I'm good, man. I just crawled out from under a water truck.
We were literally, when you didn't answer, I was like, he's probably just got off the water truck.
We put a transmission in a water truck. We put a new pump in the water truck. I spent about $7,000 on this water truck in the last month, and grand voyage was supposed to be about 30 minutes ago, and when you let out the clutch, it's just making a grinding noise. So I don't know where I'm at on this one. So I'm gonna have to go get my other truck from Del City in the morning.
I thought you had like 4 of them things.
Well, I mean, you got to have 4 to keep one running.
And you got 3 for parts.
Yeah. So that's what happened to this one. This one broke, and then I got parts robbed off of it for 5 years, and I was like, well, I probably ought to put this one back together. So I don't know. I think we've got the shift linkage in wrong, and it's kind of like halfway in gear and halfway not. And but Frost will get it ironed out.
Hey, if you can't find them, grind them.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's trying to grind about 2 or 3 gears at the same time. I think that's the issue.
So you do have your cross-thread Craig hat on right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right,
If I have to work on it, it's a bad day.
All right, so water truck's down, but let's hear about that track, because I know the dozer ain't down.
No, we've done quite a bit this week. My buddy Chris Fry that came and worked at the race last year, he wasn't going to be able to make it on race weekend due to prior commitments, so he wanted to come up early. And so we were supposed to be at Del City Racing last weekend, and we got rained out down there, but the dirt was about perfect to work here. So he just came on and drove down, and I had things I wanted to see different. I listen to what everybody says. I listen even on the preview, State Series preview show, other things, good and bad, that people said, oh, if it's up to me, I'd change this. Or I think Cole said, like, when you drop down into the canyon there, but sorry, I've got a 1-year-old like causing me an anxiety attack here. That it kind of pinches off and got real narrow going down into that front canyon. And so we've widened up the entrance there. And then there was guys said if you couldn't do, so we completely changed it, and a lot of widening, adding dirt back to the track, just stuff like that. But there's a lot of pictures up and around. I think most everybody's seen them by now, and the feedback we've got is pretty good so far. Nobody's rode it, but
yeah, it's looking good from what I've seen.
I think it's going to work out. So yeah, in the morning I'm either going to have to go rent a truck for this weekend or go to Del City and ride dirty all the way back from Del City with a water truck with no headlights. And,
you just start putting that money into pit racing. We'll start sponsoring water trucks.
Yeah, there we go. So, yeah.
So
I would.
So I've seen the double section you put in where the quad was, and then I saw the wall jump you put in before the finish line.
I guess I didn't even mention that. That's probably that's the thing everybody's seeing, and they're like, damn. And we built it kind of gnarly with the thought that it's going to wear down.
Yeah.
If we don't by the end of the first practice day, I'll dock you 37 laps. So that's my default go-to. Yeah.
37 laps.
Yeah.
That's more than he puts in a season.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. That finish line straight was too fast. We widened the finish line jump, made it about 10 foot longer, and then slowed you down coming into it.
Mm-hmm.
That thing's not usually a problem, but my Oklahoma Winter Series race, we had like 40-mile-an-hour tailwind, and I had people over jumping the finish by 60 foot.
Wow. You sound like Bob bit. Now. Calm down now. 60 foot?
No. We had, where the gate is to exit the track?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had people landing out there.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Yeah. And everybody's coming out of my eye. I was like, man, you think with a 40-mile-an-hour tailwind, we might slow down a little bit through there, but it happens. Sometimes you got to give a little gas and things go wrong.
So what else have you done out there? Anything besides those three things?
That's pretty much, the middle tabletop, we've widened it. We brought some dirt in. It never really wanted to hold the face. And we brought in the nastiest clay we could find to kind of build the face with it. And we kind of turned it into more of a camelback.
You talking about right after the S turn?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, the outside, you could always jump it, but no matter what you did, the outside would hole out at the top.
Yeah.
And it's just because, the same thing that makes that jump hole out, the same thing that makes the dirt actually pretty good here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just got a lot of sand in it. So we went and found the nastiest clay on the property and just brought it in to do that face, widened it up. The back corner section, we would probably done more back there than we did, but we got a lot of rain last weekend and that area was flooded. Work on the areas you can.
Right.
And but next week, you know, if everything else goes well, I only tear up one water truck. Maybe we'll go back there and do something. So
Okay. Yeah, that was my next question. Do you have any other intentions, or is that where you're gonna leave it?
Oh, I mean, I've got things, you know, the things nobody thinks of. The road coming in, we've got a bunch of gravel to haul in on it. You know, one big difference was 2 years ago when it rained, we had to cancel because you couldn't get in and out of here.
Yeah, I remember that.
The counties worked the roads, added thousands of dollars worth of rock between my track and the paved roads, and we went from having the worst dirt roads in Payne County to the best dirt roads. So
Payne County, baby. I own 370.
Yeah, it can rain a foot and we can get out of here now. And before that was just not happening.
Yeah. So you said you've got to haul in all those rocks. Does the county not take care of that?
Now we've got to haul it on the track side. So once you come in the great gate, that dirt road coming in,
yeah,
we've hauled in a bunch of rock for it.
Oh, that'll be nice.
But yeah, they've done the roads all the way out to the paved roads.
Yeah, it might help cut down on a little dust in the parking lot.
Yeah, so I don't know if anybody's seen what the weatherman said today. They said cold front moving in next Friday and high of 79 all weekend. So that'd be all right, wouldn't it? That's all that good, clean living I've done finally paying off.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in weathermen.
You know, that's true.
They just get paid to be wrong.
Damn inaccurate bastards.
Did you make amends with that neighbor?
I'm thinking.
He was getting rowdy last year.
I don't even remember it.
I was with Blake, so that could have had something to do with it.
I don't even remember this happening.
Barnes?
Shit, boy.
Yeah. I get along with my neighbors out here. It's some Del City neighbors. So.
You still having issues out there?
Oh, not really.
I was going to say.
We've got our east entrance put in now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've got it where you can enter and exit off Vicky, and it's a lot wider. And we've got we put down some asphalt millings coming in there, and man, it just seems like every time I get a free weekend to go down there and have a practice or race, it rains out every time.
Yeah, that's that time of the year.
Goddamn weather,
so now,
man. What do you do?
Yeah, so now we're here the next 2 weeks, so like I'm not even going to be open all of May over there. So, but
yeah,
here's what it is.
You looking forward to that? What were you calling it? The Metro Moto Series or something like that?
Yeah, we're just, you know, I mean, look, man, diesel's $5.50 a gallon.
Yep.
I just think there's a lot of people in the Metro that would go race if they didn't have to spend $350, $400 a weekend in diesel to do it.
Yeah.
And their only option right now is to practice all the time. And you know, there is a whole group of people that's all they want to do. They just want to ride.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. You know, we've talked before. My mind always goes to 90s moto, and that's what we did. We raced every weekend. So
right.
I just wanted the series, like the 59th and Douglas series, was like every weekend, you know, from like March till September. That was the series, like 20-something rounds every weekend. And so you wanted to go to Loretta qualifier and miss a weekend, you just missed it. So
wow,
but
that's crazy.
I don't know. I just want something there for the guys local. We get a different crowd down there than I thought it would be. A lot of our AMP regulars, and it's really not. It's a lot of people, new people. So.
Yeah.
And we're getting some brand new people that maybe would have rode out at Draper or something like that would have never have gone to a motocross track before.
Yeah.
That are coming out there, which is cool. I mean, that's when you realize you're making a difference in the sport, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I would say the track you have out there, like it's got some, you know, technical parts of it that'll cater to the more advanced guys, but then it's pretty inviting for a beginner.
Yeah, I mean, so even our double jumps, they're what, 3/4 of the way filled in,
right.
Every one of them.
Right.
And, you know, I do have some older guys, and you got to listen to them. And they're like, look, if we can't do these jumps, we just got to hit off the brake. And, you know, and a lot of that has to do with, okay, we have this much dirt, we got to build this much track, and we used what we got. But, you know, I hope people will realize that that's only my first round of track work out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm on my 14th revision here in Stillwater, you know. So
Yeah.
we've got a long ways to go. We're going to extend that track over on the west side now that the city put their fence in, dividing our property and theirs.
On the west side, would that be the starting gate side?
Yeah, correct. So I've always known I wanted the track to go over there, but I wanted to wait till the city got their fence up because I didn't want to build that track and then them come in and go fence right down the middle of it.
Right.
So, it's up now, and so that's my next project over there.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Speaking of filling in doubles, so you built that double where the quad used to be. Or the table,
it's a big one.
The table.
It's not a hard one, but it's big.
Well, so is that one filled in too, or did you leave that a little bit more of a gap?
It's a little more of a gap.
Yeah.
But the landing's big and long. I mean, you could 15 foot short, and it's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
It's not filled in, but the landing is just real. I don't know. It's not peaked at all, you know.
It's mellow.
Yeah, real mellow landing.
Yeah. It looks like it'll kind of be like a high speed, like flowy section through there.
Yeah, and that's what you want because you've also got to take into consideration that it is out of the first corner.
Yeah.
So I can't have any doubles that a guy's going to run up to the top of it and slam on the brake. And then the guy behind him just, you don't have to slam on the brakes. You can just jump off of it. So
yeah, that's true.
You know, you always got to be thinking of things like that. But, of course, it's always the things you don't think of.
Yeah.
You know, we had, I think it was 3-4 years ago, Len Long's little boy was playing out in the mud hole, and I guess he had a little cut in his foot and got infected, and it was swollen up in the morning and took him to the doctor, and they had to Metaflight him out of there.
Holy shit.
Because he got some kind of bacteria from a mud hole. So, you know, you try to think about all the safety things and on the track, and then it's just always something you'd never even think of, or, you know, a pit bike deal on the pits or something like that. The things you just never even think about.
You can't help all that stuff.
No, you try, but, you know, I saw Bob made a post after his race about, somebody had made a post talking about how good a job the State Series was doing this year, and I really do. I seem to notice everybody just really caring, and I think the tracks are working together more this year than in years past. And then Bob made a mention of how bad the pit bike thing was, and it just made me get back to last year. And you know, I forgot but it was that bad here last year. I don't know what we're going to end up doing, but we can't just keep ignoring it. I mean, it is bad. It's out of control. So.
Yeah. I mean, every handful of years, someone gets hurt on one of them things. Yeah.
I mean, there was a deal last year, and you know, I've heard the kid ran into the back of the side-by-side, and I've heard the side-by-side ran into him. But at the same point, it was like, okay, the opportunity was there for that to happen.
Right.
And how do we eliminate that altogether?
Yeah.
So, something's going to have to be done, or they're going to end up going away altogether, which would really suck. I don't want to see that happen.
Yeah.
So.
I think one of the biggest issues is there's so many kids that just, you know, third gear pinned with no helmet on around the pits.
Yeah, I mean, look, mom and dad want to go out there and have a good time, and the pit bike becomes the babysitter.
That's true.
And we all know somebody that's guilty of that, and it's just, you know, it is what it is. But we as track owners, we're going to have to do something about it. And again, this is not anybody's race. It's just he was the one that happened to say it. And it made me think about it. And yeah, I don't know. They talked about before the series about making me have a permit just so we could have a sticker on their number plate and trace back who it belongs to.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I mean, if you get that many people in one spot, it's going to be an issue. So it's just growing pains too. I mean, we can't. You know, we've had tracks want to go one extreme and do away with them, and then you got another track that don't want to do anything about it. And there's got to be a happy medium right there in the middle somewhere. So
yeah, I agree with you.
You know, I mean, you know, you do away with them, there's going to be people just stay home. You know, I don't want to walk all over the pits. Do you? I mean,
no.
I don't. So, I don't know what. I don't have all the answers, but I do see some of the problems. You know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I think this is probably going to be one of the better years for your track in recent memory. It's a good time of year, and the entries have been really good so far, consistently.
We've broke 400 entries before with races we've done, but never a state race. And this year they've never been below 500. So it's trickled down a little bit each race, but I think they've been above 500 every round. So, riders and people looking from the outside, we all tend to see what's wrong. But at some point we got to realize somebody's doing something right, or the numbers wouldn't just keep going up.
Yeah.
So, we've got more going good for us than bad for us. And I'm happy with the direction it's going, especially the last few years.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the numbers we've had with the gas prices we have, I mean, it speaks to the current state of things. I think we're doing really well. Won't
lie. I thought it was going to be our lowest first round in the last 10 years just because of diesel prices.
Yeah.
I mean, we take our kid back and forth to errands in town and, go grab a few parts or whatever. It's $40 to $50 a day just in gasoline for us to do nothing.
Yeah.
And so, I have to think that's going to affect it, but in reality, it doesn't look like it has. So
not so far, at least. But yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying. A year and a half ago, I filled up my Silverado for $35, and I just filled it up the other day, and it was $90. So.
Yeah,
and that's just regular gas, 87.
Yeah,
could imagine if I was driving a diesel.
Mine up. I just go put my $40 in it, pretend it's full.
Yeah, and it's harder on track owners too, especially someone like you who's that's their main source of income. When you got to drop an extra $300 just in diesel to run your equipment, if not more.
Well, where I'm really noticing it is like practice days.
Yeah.
And it's like, I never know what we're going to have. We might have 40 and we might have 80 to 100. We just never know. But when I start talking about, okay, Sunday I drove to Del City just to see how it was rained out. And so, you start driving back and forth, the money you spend to prep. And I think the state series went up on their entry fee $5 this year. I think that's right.
Yep, it is.
But I really haven't changed my cost of practice since I've opened.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever changed. But, now when you start thinking about a practice and that gate fee not coming in, it's like, man, do I even want to mess with this?
Yeah.
So, with me, it's find a good weekend, not a lot going on, and then we'll open. So,
yeah.
But
it's something I worry about. I worry that if we go on this road for too long with everything being so expensive that the bubble's going to pop eventually.
Well, you keep thinking, how bad could it get?
Yeah.
And then it just seems like it's a little worse and worse. I never thought it'd go above $5.
No, I was just talking to Natalie about that the other day. I said I never thought I'd see $5 a gallon plus in my life.
Just didn't think I'd see it.
Yeah.
And, when we first started saying we were going to build a track in Oklahoma City, gas was $2 a gallon.
Yep.
And then when it finally got time to do the dirt work, I was crying that the gas or diesel was now $3.50 a gallon. And now the track's in, and I feel like I was lucky to build it while diesel was $3.50 a gallon.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So, but yeah, I think the state series is it's doing good this year. It always does a little bit better when I don't have a problem saying it. That's maybe the three most popular tracks around 1, 2, and 3. And that always helps numbers, when you start out way east or way west, just distance alone, you want your first one to be as big as possible because it always kind of trickles down a little bit from there.
Mm-hmm.
So, starting with those kind of centrally located tracks is a big deal. And, so we'll see what happens. We're ready for it. I might be, if we get 550 entries, I might be parking spectators on the road Sunday, but I don't know.
Hey, that's a good problem to have.
Good problem to have. Yeah. We could use it.
Yeah. Well, cool, Jeremy. I appreciate you talking with us. We're excited to come out there. I think we talked about it on the preview show. I bet just with the time of the year, it's not going to be so hot. We've had all this rain. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be awesome out there.
Yeah, it should be good. Like I said, they're saying maybe even rain tonight and tomorrow night a little bit. And I'd gone months without rain last year. And I think considering last year, all that time without, my pond was dry when we had the race last year. And we were pulling out of the creek. And by the end of the race weekend, I don't think I could have pulled one more load of water. I mean, we were that out of water.
Yeah, I remember.
And, it was 100 degrees, 30, 40 mile an hour wind gusts. And we managed to keep it good. And considering, and my goal is simple every year. I just want to be a little bit better than we were the year before. And as long as you're moving forward, even a little bit, I think people notice.
Yeah.
It's just that, but they really notice when you move backwards.
Yeah.
And so you can't do that.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, should be fun. We'll be out there next weekend. So
come on, have a good time.
All right. Well,
Are you all going to get the race this year?
Yeah, we'll all be on the gate this year. Hopefully.
Yeah,
Nobody.
So Jeremy, this is Snap here. I was just talking. I've missed your race the last 2 years, and so I'm pretty excited to make it this year.
You need to get your life together. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it just hasn't worked out, but this year it's looking pretty good.
Yeah. You know what we haven't talked about?
What's that?
Party in the pasture.
Pit race and party in the pasture.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about bringing
Have a
that
good
up.
time.
We had lunch with Ryan Nichols today, and when we were leaving, he was
Rough crowd.
he was saying we got to, here in the next couple weeks, we need to have a little talk and get details ironed out so then we can start promoting that thing. It's already, man, just a little bit of word of mouth.
It's already causing a buzz.
Yeah, there's people. I think it's going to be huge.
So here's my deal about it. I think, Chase, you've come to Moab before, and we've had good years and bad years with that. And look, man, the racing, I'm a race promoter. I'm in the business of racing. But the racing we put on anymore, it all gets a little too serious. I mean, I think we can all see that. And I just want to have 1 weekend a year where we race and we have fun, and maybe the racing is secondary. It's about getting together with your buddies and having a good time, and we're going to do all these bonus activities and, see some racing maybe we don't normally see all year. The side-by-side straight rhythm deal, there's probably been a lot of these guys that have never gone to a side-by-side race before.
Or a straight rhythm, for that matter.
Yeah, for that matter. So getting all the events, all the events, kind of combining them, getting that mix of different groups there, it makes a fun weekend. And again, I want to have that 1 weekend where it's just the guy's not coming out and going, I didn't get 12th in 450 beginner, I got 11th, and it just gets a little too serious at times. And I want to have 1 weekend a year where it's the racing part of it's secondary. The main thing is that everybody come out and had a good time. So.
Yep. That sounds like a pit racing
event.
Grade A deal right there.
Look, it was when I started thinking about the event and how to make it big and the right people that would understand it. I mean, you guys were the obvious choice. So
yes, sir.
Well, we appreciate that, and I feel like it's going to fit good, and it's going to bring, like you said, some different faces that we're not used to seeing, and just bring the whole motorsports community together in 1 weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Well, for example, I want to have a pro quad race at the deal, and everybody talks bad about quads. Of course, we know what it does to the track. There's no really denying it. But if anybody ever watched some of these pro quads ride, like the level of respect they would have, it's impressive.
We've literally been talking about that on the show.
Yeah, they talked about me when I raced the quad, how impressive I was, and I mean, yeah, we went over it. I mean, I'm good on a quad. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I can imagine
exactly what you're saying. We talked about this an hour ago. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. Talked about how we're each going to bring something to the table. Austin Dixon's going to have a sold-out concert. The Supernaut Vet Challenge. pit bike race, all the stuff. I mean, we have lists of stuff. It's going to be.
Might even teach a meteorology class while I'm there.
It might rain, it might not. Who knows?
You come lie to us, yeah.
I heard there's
degrees, and you're going to tell us it's 80.
I heard that Jeremy was building a huge bonfire that Ryan Nichols is going to jump on the Atwoods bike.
You know, I mean, I would like to say nothing like that would ever happen, but
It's gonna.
there's, you know, I mean,
If he won't, I will.
Can't
the
deny
thing
it.
is, when I'm with Ryan, bad ideas start to sound like really good ideas. That's just all there is to it. And you know, even when he told me he wanted to do a side-by-side straight rhythm, I said that's the best worst idea I've ever heard of. So,
I love it.
yep. So yeah, we'll get through the state race. You know, that's the next big thing on my plate, and then I'm all in on that deal, and we're gonna have a good time. And I think there's a lot of people of that mindset, or that maybe, well, at least understand it. You know, you get those some people that they want that national feel every weekend when they go to a race, and that's fine. This race, it's not for them, you know. So
Yeah.
but you want to have a good time, you want to come ride your dirt bike, you want to hang out in the evening, there won't be a better event for it.
CalFest 2.0.
There you go.
This is the real thing, not the teaser.
Yep.
Well, hell yeah, Jeremy. Let's plan on a couple weeks getting together and we'll hash it out.
All right, we'll see you guys next weekend.
All right, see you, Jeremy.
Bye.
I can't wait for that event. It's gonna be so fun.
It's gonna be the best.
Yep.
Epic.
PRP, Pit Racing Party, baby.
Oh, it's gonna be the best. I can already feel it.
Didn't there used to be a brand called PRP?
There still is. They make
No, it's
PR
P2R. That's
Oh,
the brand
yeah.
I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
P2R.
I remember them,
I thought it was PR2 helmets.
PR2. You're
Yeah.
right. Not P2R.
and they
PR2.
were chorizzle
Yeah.
on looks. I don't know about quality.
I don't either.
Didn't they have the little fin on the back, or was that extra?
Yeah, I think that was built in.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That was just when you bought it, it was already there.
Yeah.
It may have flashed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember when I first
flashed.
Just kidding, it
no,
didn't
when I
flash,
first
but-
started racing though, those were out popular.
Yeah, I know people that wore them. As soon as I had the money to buy a Shoei, I bought one, and I never turned back. I grew up on HJCs, though. Everybody's had one
That
of
was
those.
my first helmet.
Yeah, the homie in the back with the baggy pants, chilling. Yeah. Everybody's had that helmet. Come on now.
You had Fox in between Shoei, though, because you had the red Shoei, then you went to Fox for a while.
Yeah, I couldn't afford a Shoei. I mean, Foxes were like 200, Shoeis were like 600.
Yeah.
No, I had some Foxes.
Painted Shoeis?
Everybody I know that's ever had a bad head injury wore a Fox, so.
Yeah, but I've talked to people that say the same thing about Shoei, so.
No, you haven't.
I definitely have.
I'm just kidding. Maybe you have, but
I think you could pick any helmet and find somebody that's like, oh, everyone I know has got a concussion.
there was a weird streak where I know a lot of people that got destroyed
I agree
on their
with
bikes, and they're wearing Fox helmets.
I agree with you, yeah.
But I mean, I think right now Shoei is probably not that good on helmet technology.
I think they're behind the curve for sure.
But like I said, I'm not like a guy that goes after performance or anything like that. I go off looks, and I love the way Shoei's look.
Give
so
a fuck
that's why
about my brain.
That's why I wear Shoei's.
I think 6D is probably leading the technology front right now.
I think they used to, but I don't think they do anymore. I think Fly might be the leading technology.
Really? You think the 6D, like all the...
Who wears the 6D right now?
A lot of people.
Who?
Like pros? Or what?
Yes, important people in the sport.
Let's see. Alex Martin wears one.
The whole FXR crew does.
Troll Train?
That's already understood. But besides that,
well, the rest of them got like giant brand deals.
what do you know about
Like
an LS?
the factory guys have giant brand
I think
deals.
Jerry Robin is 60.
What are they called? LS2s?
Yep.
What does a hombre wear? LS2.
Hombre wears
Arrow.
Arrow, yeah.
Same as Moose Can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
It's better than the LS2s, though. The LS2s.
So who wears? Oh, Chizzy.
Yep.
Chizzy wears the LS2. God,
Hey,
dude, but
speaking-
they look the same.
Hey, speaking of...
No, the LS2, the face mask kind of swoops
Either
down.
way, like it ain't something you're trying to wear.
No.
But where's their technology?
But given the choice between the two, I'd pick an Arrow for sure.
I think Fly has the best technology right now. They're the ones who brag it the most, at least.
Hey, I mean,
So you're
But like
you're
I
going
said,
off marketing.
Either way, whatever kind
they
of
have the most videos talking about their technology. That's probably the best.
Whatever kind of technology's out there, whatever happens, I'm wearing a Shoei. Unless they do like a new design that's ugly, then I'm out.
Hey, I'm gonna change just a little bit since you brought up the Chiz. Alec, what do you know about Chiz? You guys are homies or what?
Yeah, he's one of my favorite riders.
How cool is he?
He's pretty
Is he
cool.
pretty cool?
Yeah, he's cool. But before, I think it was 2020 season, right before COVID stopped Supercross there for a while, Chisholm was one of the guys that I emailed to see if I could film with him for the Dallas round. And we filmed a little bit, and then I looked back at the footage, and I was like, man, I've got a lot of footage, but it's not, like, I kind of want to do more, like get some interviews and stuff. And he's like, yeah, man, like we'll figure out a few more races, and we'll do some more filming and stuff. And then COVID hit and stopped that. And like, all right, that sucks. So I didn't get to film with them that rest of the season because they just went to Salt Lake. And but ever since then, I kind of just kept in touch with them. And once I started doing outdoors and Supercross, I was able to take pictures on press day and during the outdoor motos. And so I just kept sending my photos and stuff to him, and we just stayed in touch, and worked out awesome because, I mean, this season he had a killer season, got to ride the Star and all that stuff, and I kept doing press day photos, so he was sharing my photos, and worked out awesome in my favor. And I was just pumped because every week I'd take photos, I'd send them to him, and then I'd get a notification saying he shared them, and he was doing like his weekly recaps with my photos, and that was really awesome. And then he got the chance to do opening ceremonies, and I think he said he hasn't done one since 2011 or something like that. And of course, like opening ceremonies, we help with that. We have our headsets in, and we tell the riders when to go and stuff like that. And Chisholm, he's like one of my favorite riders, and so I was able to ask my boss, was like, hey, can I get Chisholm for opening ceremonies? So that was really cool, getting to direct like when he goes out and everything like that. So, but yeah, I mean, like a lot of the pro riders, they're for the most part they're really cool with opening ceremonies. But that one was cool just because I've spent more time around him filming and stuff like that. So
you get a little connection.
Yeah,
when you do that, which is cool as shit.
And everybody gives me shit because I'm always rooting for Chisholm, but like once he got the Star ride, everybody's like, how's he gonna do, Alec? I'm like, we're gonna get a podium tonight. It's like, have you talked to him? I'm like, oh yeah.
Dude, I've known, I've never met really talk with Chiz, but I've known Chiz forever. Like I remember being like on 80s, and Chiz showed up to a little area qualifier, and he was there on a Coway 250 or something shredding. But one thing that's funny about Chisholm that I never knew, right? I did know at one point, but I've been on YouTube watching Bar to Bar. I think I started in like 2005 or something. But I was watching Supercross maybe 2007, 2006. But Chisholm took out Reed.
That was a computer.
Chisholm took out Reed when I think it was Reed and Stewart battling for the championship. But Chiz I don't think he meant to. He was on the same team as Stewart at the time, but he took out Reed. It was just it was crazy to watch. Like to go back that far, like watching Bar to Bar, because I've been watching Bar to Bar every night, every season, just watch outdoor, indoor. But it was funny that Chiz got a little sketchy, cleaned Reed out. Stewart took off for the win. Reed never really did anything, like he didn't retaliate. And on the podium, they talked about it, but it was funny. Another funny thing, I don't know if we ever talked about it in here, but like like the never lifted saying that we do.
Yes.
I heard that on one of the outdoors. I think it was Stewart or something in Carmichael, but he's like, he never lifted. But it was hilarious because like
that's Darren.
I thought about that in my head for months, trying to figure out that saying.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Trying to figure out what the hell happened, but
and it was like I even flipped through the podcast trying to find it.
I'm telling you, dude.
I couldn't find it.
It killed me forever. But yeah, he never lifted.
That was definitely Darren's episode.
Talking about the Red Rocket.
It definitely stems from NASCAR or something, though, because, I mean, foot on the pedal, never lifted.
Yeah.
But it does make sense in anything else.
Thumb throttle, never lifted your thumb off the throttle.
Never lifted your wrist off the throttle. I don't know. We can say or whatever we want to say about it, but he never lifted.
Hey, speaking of helmets and you on the track crew, is that as high as the visors go on those helmets?
Yeah, it's so it's a fly helmet. We have to wear those helmets. We can't
because they're safe.
Yeah, because it's sponsored helmet. But yeah, I try to put mine up as high as I can because the guys that haven't ridden before, whatever, like
they don't know any better.
Yeah, they just run whatever, and they got the visor.
I'm sure there's a handful of you that like have been a part of moto for a long time, right? And you're probably sitting there like, fuck, I got this helmet, like got my sun visor out.
Yeah. I remember last year we were running low on a few track members, so they had to call in some guys. So they kind of recruited some friends of people that were already employed. And this was the Atlanta race where McAdoo hit the bridge.
Oh,
and,
God.
One of the new guys, it was one of those things he had to be there, but he was a new guy, just got thrown into it, had never had any track experience whatsoever. I think he was he was helped like stage hands with like movies and stuff like that. He just happened to be in the Atlanta area. And McAdoo slammed in the bridge, and they were sitting there screaming at this kid to go, protect him from other riders and stuff. And I just remember like being on the radio, and you just hear, "Oh!" like this kid's like running, but like you said, he's got the visor like straight down, and he's just like full sprint, like has no idea what to do. And I just remember hearing that on the radio. Like you have to push the button to say something on the radio, but like you could tell he was like freaking out, and he just it's like that's always burned in my brain. It's just like him sprinting up the bridge, but. Yeah, it's
so crazy to me that they would have people like that don't know moto involved in such a high level of the sport.
Yeah,
but
last season was crazy though, because with COVID and everything, we had to do testing, and I think we tested every Monday. And
you never caught it?
I never caught it, or I never tested positive, but there was quite a few guys on the crew that were testing positive and had to quarantine in their hotel rooms.
2 weeks.
Yeah. And I think Indianapolis was one of the rounds that we have our meetings in the morning, and we get to the show office, and my manager comes up, and he's like, all right, time for the meeting. And I'm looking around, and there's not that many people in there. And he's like, all right, guys, this is the crew that we have, and we have to put on a show Saturday. So do everything you can, or we're going to try to figure things out. And I'm looking around the room, and there's like 6 or 7 of us, and there's usually 20 plus. So I was like, oh boy, here we go. So my boss spent the day just calling people from past seasons, just trying to get them in for this week so we can figure something out. And stuff like that happens behind the scenes that you just
So the entire COVID, since COVID started, you've never got it?
I'm sure I've probably had it, but I've tested and never tested positive. So.
And you had to test pretty often too, huh?
Yeah, we had to test every Monday. And one of the rounds, I was around all the people that got it and never had any issues. So
nice. Yeah, I've never tested positive, but I've also never tested.
Shit. COVID's fucking a dead horse. I don't need to get into all that bullshit.
No, I was just curious because for him to have to test and never test positive, pretty rare.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Omicron, dude.
Never even got a false positive. It's true. All right. Let's break down this Bob's race.
Breaking down Bob's?
Breaking down Bob's.
All right, well, I guess we can start that it didn't get rained out.
No, but
it had a chance.
But it held with the tradition of some
rain, thunderstorms.
Heavy thunderstorms rolling through at least one night while we're there.
Yeah.
And really, it could have rained more than it did. But had a thunderstorm come through Friday night. You went to bed kind of early that night, didn't you?
What are you talking about?
Friday night.
Yeah, I was in my.
Oh yeah, you weren't there.
House.
You weren't there. I was like
at my house in
bed.
Because
I was remembering like me and Blake and Ryan and Chase were rolling around on the golf cart, and I'm like, for some reason, I don't remember Dihip being there.
Yeah, Dihip wasn't there.
That's because you weren't.
Yeah, it wasn't there.
You didn't roll in until Saturday.
Yeah, I got thunderstorms in my house that night though.
Yeah, but yeah, Friday the facility was in really, really good shape. Pits there are really nice. We've talked about that a lot, but track was immaculate on Saturday for practice. Got a little dry for the races on Saturday. It didn't look terrible, but it was dry. And then again, practice was phenomenal on Sunday, and they let it get away from them on Sunday, I thought, in the motos in terms of the track.
Yeah, I mean, my problem with Sunday is if you want a good track at the end of the day Sunday, you're gonna have like a foot of mud at the beginning of the day.
Right.
That's all. Unless you're gonna stop races and till it and then water it, because you can't. You can water a hard packed track.
Yeah.
It'll cut down a little dust, but either way, it's gonna come back in a
Just
moto.
slides off the surface.
I mean, you're really just hurting the race. You're hurting the racers, and you're helping the racers. Like you cut down on dust for people in the back of the pack, but I mean, come on. When you're dealing with the hard pack track, you can throw water on it, but it creates dangerous situations for the racers, and it cuts down a little dust.
Yeah.
That's all it does. Unless you sit there and till it, and so the moisture can get into the dirt, you're doing nothing.
Yeah.
So,
all that being said, the track had a ton of lines, I thought, for the most part, in all the corners.
yeah, that's really where it matters for me.
Yeah.
When you have ruts in the corners, it makes it fun.
Yeah. All the corners had a lot of lines, which was great. It was
I mean, the 120-foot step up, the corner before that, hella ruts.
yeah.
Yeah, that's where I
Gotta
lost
love that.
to Bad Brad last lap of the second moto.
Bad Brad be hitting ruts.
I
dude.
thought I was hitting the smoothest line in the middle, and apparently he ripped an inside rut, and we hit that triple side by side. Really pissed me off. I remember Austin after the race, we're sitting there cooling off, and he looks at me and goes,
How
"You
about
okay?"
how about this? We got time. Let's each break down our motos.
Yeah, we can do that.
So let's go. Well, do we want to do four? Like that'd be a lot of motos each.
Let's just do second motos.
All right. So I'll be the first one. I'll break my second moto down. Then you guys break your second moto down.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I came from the back. So second moto. Well, first moto I had a shitty gate pick and I got third. So second gate pick I had a better gate pick. I thought I had the whole shot. Clousier cut down on me. I tried to slide, and as I was sliding, I stalled her, and I started last at that point. There's nobody else. I mean, I was the last person to take off from there. But as I was making my way through the pack, I ran into you two, which was funny because I ran
There's
into
some pretty cool pictures of all three of us hitting that finish line together.
I ran into the whole pit racing crew at the same time. And it was funny, like, as I made my way, I think Austin was leading, Chase was Chase was behind Austin, and I was behind them. And as I was trying to get my way through them, Chase passed Austin, and then I passed both of them, I don't know, pretty quick. It was like, I don't know, it was fun. But there was a point where we were all three in the air at the same time on the finish line.
Yeah, the finish line.
And, like, we were almost neck and neck at that point. It was cool. I think my mom took that picture, honestly. Unless there was other ones.
Chase outgunned me coming into that next corner.
Yeah, I tried to outgun all of you, but I was like, man, I better be like, they already pissed off at me. I better shut her down because I'll clean all these fools out right here. But
yeah, remember you were on probation after Ponca last year.
Yeah, they put me on probation. They docked 6 points. I was like, damn, I better cool it. I better pump the brakes. Turn into Bam Bam right quick. But now once I got past you guys. I don't know. Maybe I passed. The last person I passed was I always forget names, but you know what I'm talking about.
Hard Dog.
Yeah, Hard Dog was the last person I passed.
Hard Daddy.
That was as far as I got in the pack.
The Zog.
Yeah, Hard Dog. He was the last guy. It felt good to pass him because he was talking a little shit last time.
Talking
he was
that
on the pack.
scotch.
He was like, "Man, I got something for you," and I'm like, "Do you?" But I think I got his number on that one, so I felt pretty good about myself. I felt better on the second moto than the first moto, so that was fun for me. So, break your motos down.
I'll go. So for
King starts.
Yeah, my starts. Yeah, we'll chime in on that a little bit. Me and Austin have a little tally going.
Yep.
And I'm not doing very good. Not proud of myself this year. I don't know what's up with my starts.
Weight gain.
But,
it's 4-2. Is the tally
weight gain.
right now.
Yeah, that's probably part of it.
Yeah.
But anyways, I had good reaction
Sloppy
time.
legs, honestly. Though.
Yeah,
I've seen the video.
Yeah, watching the videos, that's what in my head, I'm like, what was I doing there? But anyways, second moto coming in the first corner, all I know is Supernova is right in front of me, and there's a couple bikes to his right. And in my head, I said, he's he's going down and taking these guys with him, and I'm right behind him. And because you were sliding sideways, and you were touching the guy to your right, which I think was Klauser.
Yeah, Klauser cut down, and I had to start sliding.
And so, anyways, somehow you guys rode it out. But I stalled it by slamming on the brakes, trying to not get in it with you guys, and then you guys didn't crash. So you're stalled, I'm stalled. I look over, Taryn's on the ground picking his bike up.
Taryn wadded up pretty good.
It was just a shit show. But my bike fired first, which it felt like took forever. But you were still sitting there, and so was Taryn when it took off.
The video.
And so then, of course, I knew I was going to have both of you flying past me somewhere in the moto,
running up your back.
Which Taryn was the first one, and you can hear him. You can hear him coming, but it's like you hear him for like 2 seconds, and boom, he's gone past.
That factory edition did.
But anyways, I made my way back up. I was proud, honestly. It's weird. Me and Austin are really close this year, speed wise. But if something happens like that, I don't know. I'm able to catch up to him. I don't know. I have more motivation, I guess. But I was happy I was able to catch him, pass him.
You get that fire under your ass when you crash,
right? Yeah.
Because when you don't crash and we start together, we run together.
Right. You don't finish far behind me if you can see me the same distance pretty much the whole time.
Right.
Where when I took off, I couldn't see you at all, and then I caught you and passed you. So I was happy with that, but I was more happy of catching Brad because me and him were really close, and I don't, for some reason, I don't like him beating me. Maybe because he's in his 40s,
20 years older than me or something.
But I was pumped. I caught him and pressured him hard, passed him, had 2 laps to go, and then the last lap he passes me, and I tried so hard on that triple just to stay on the gas, but he had the inside, and at that right-hander after the uphill triple, I hit it harder than I ever had the whole race. And I think he did too, because he wasn't going to let me back by. So anyways, I was pissed off that he passed me right on the 2 corners to go for the finish line. And I remember sitting there in the tent. It was hot. I was just chilling. And Austin says, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You just seem like you're not doing all right."
I said, "You look pissed." He said, "I am."
Then it hit me. I was like, "Yes, I am pissed off at myself." I let that go. But in the grand scheme of things, I beat him overall, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. But more, it was just a mental thing for me that he got me.
Yeah. I'm glad we're talking about second motos because we just need to leave my first moto start as private domain.
Oh yeah, we need to make that video public.
I've got it archived in my phone.
Yeah, that needs to stay in the archives because I don't know that I've ever had a start that looked that squirrely. Maybe like right when I started. I don't know what the fuck happened.
When you slow-mo, it makes it look worse.
It does. I don't know what the fuck happened, but the gate dropped, and all of a sudden my fucking front wheel just goes right, and my back wheel goes left, and I'm Stanky Leg Joe, just sliding.
Stank leg.
It's lucky there was no one next to me because I'd have hit, no doubt.
But, you had the doghouse in between you and me.
Yeah. But anyway, so second moto, I got a really good start. I was right there at the front of the pack.
That's what happens when we all go down.
Yeah. No. I mean, coming to before everybody went down. I was right there with the pack.
Giving you shit.
And then I probably would have come out, if everybody had stayed up, I probably would have come out like 5th, something like that, somewhere in there. But I knew I had a good jump and run because I saw Taryn crashing in my peripheral vision. It wasn't in front of me. It was like right here.
I think I caused all that bullshit.
He maybe had like a half bike length on me coming into that first turn. And so I see Supernaw sliding. I see Taryn like going spread eagle off the side of the bike. Have you seen the video of his crash? Dude, it's so funny. I was dying laughing.
But I love Taryn, but his stature when he goes flying, it's just a good look.
Yeah.
It's a funny look. Come on now.
But I was so I narrowly avoided the carnage. Did Brunk go down too?
I never seen Brunk.
I don't think so.
I don't think
That's okay. I didn't think he did because I think he was in front of me. But somebody, Dihip went down like out ahead of me. Taryn went down to the left of me, and then someone else went down right in front of me. I think it was Ozzy. I think Ozzy might have went down right there.
Maybe.
Yeah. But anyway, so I come out in 4th. I don't know who was in front of me. I think Chandler, Brunk.
Klauser. He got the whole
John Carlo, yeah, and then so that would have been 3 in front of me. So I came out in 4th.
Carlo, Clouser.
Came out in 4th, and then I ran in 4th for like maybe a half a lap, something like that, and then I think it might have been Taryn that caught me first, and then Ozzy shortly after that, and then I think I was maybe battling with Brad a little bit, and then I think about second lap or so. I think we were on the 3rd lap when you caught me, wasn't it?
Probably, yeah. It was about mid race.
I think it was on the 3rd lap when you caught up to me, and we had a pretty good battle for about 3/4 of a lap, something like that. Because I think you caught up to me on the top side, and then we battled down the hill, hit the step up, and then came around, and because you passed me right after the finish line.
Yeah, because we hit the finish line almost side by side.
Yeah.
And I was on the outside.
But I think we were running together like pretty much as soon as we hit the tabletop going back up to the top of the track, like you were coming up on me at that point.
That's right.
Yeah.
So about a good half a lap trailed you.
But I knew once I figured out Pitt was behind me, I was trying to push.
Pitt, boy.
And the ski jump before the finish line going down the hill, I launched that thing.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, like I fucking I don't know what, I didn't really mean to send it as hard as I did, but I just went full throttle off that thing.
Dude, one thing I need to mention too, because I forgot about it until just now. So Dayton Allen, first moto.
Banfield Jr.?
Banfield Jr., Dayton Allen. 420, what's up? But this homie, this dude, so he's behind me all first moto. And
stealth mode.
I don't know who's behind me. I thought it was a competitor. So he's like, I think he's pro class, 250 pro.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought like every time I leave the dude behind me, I'm like, all right, I have some breathing space. I look behind me, he's right there, and I don't know I really didn't know who was behind me at first. I think it was like almost last lap, second to last lap. I finally realized it was him. And I'm like, there's no way he's plus 25. So I'm like, I can chill, but. Anytime I look behind me, he was right there. Never heard his bike one time. And I'm like, 252 strokes, I guess they're quieter than, 4 strokes. But I'm like, still, I'm like, what the fuck's going on here, dude? He's right there.
Yeah.
No, I noticed
so his
bike was really quiet. I noticed he had stock exhaust and stuff.
He has some low-key, like, alien exhaust on his two-stroke? What's going on?
He may have a Woods Edition silencer on or something.
But I'll take pride in this a little bit. Second moto, I can't even honestly remember, but I remember catching up to him through my charge to the pack when I passed both pit racing members. Shout out. But
what an accomplishment.
Do I feel good? I got an ex-quad god. I got a singer. I mean, come on now.
We got the reigning C-class champion. We got a guy 1 year off the bike.
Look at these stats. I'm racking them up. But either way, I don't think I passed him, but I did catch up to him. So I'm like, all right. I felt good. I felt way better second moto, but that's when I had like the typical 3 to 6 Millers in me. You know what I mean? Gets me going. Gets me hyped up.
You were also pissed off from the first corner, and that just hypes you up more.
Well, it pissed me off because I thought my only real threat was Taryn, and I thought I had him on the shot or the whole shot. And I normally don't let off coming in the first corner. I normally leave it a little more pinned than everybody else just to see what happens. And I found out what happened as I went sliding and installed it because Clousier had me on the outside.
How many in the last 2 years, how many wrecks have you had on the start doing that exact thing?
Not too many, but a couple.
We've got 2 at Amp for sure, 1 at Bob's.
Well, I'm on a 350, dude. I'm underpowered.
Hey, you keep bringing it up. I got to give a shout out to, I don't know if he listens to us or not, but John Carlo Clouser. Got to give him a shout out for Sunday morning, first lap of practice for me.
Dude, hooked you up.
I crashed, beefed it in the mud, and I was pinned under my bike, or my legs were, and I couldn't get out, which my first thought was, it could be burning me, and so I was trying to yank my legs out. Luckily, it wasn't, but he was right behind me, and he threw his bike down and flipped the bike off of me real quick. And so I thanked him when we were in staging, and he said, man, all I could think of is, what if he's getting burned, and I've been there before. And so I said, well, if I can ever repay the favor, I will.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a scary situation. Last season I had that with I think it was Cade Clayson and Freddie Noren. They got tangled up, and his legs got like wedged under the rear fender, and they're just burning. Like he was just sitting there screaming, and I couldn't tell what was going on by the time I got there.
That.
And he's screaming. He's like, "Just get my legs out!" And I'm freaking out. I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" But it just looked like his legs were just like all mangled inside, and had to pull them off. And I ended up sending Cade a message later, and it was like, "Hey man, like, are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was just like that pipe was hot." I was like, "I bet." But like I smelled burning. Like I was just like freaking out. Like, oh my god, this guy's getting burned up. But yeah, that situation is just crazy. I would not want to.
That happened recently. You see the Jerry Robin and Jesse Flock.
Yeah.
When Robin took him out,
I missed that one.
It was a last lap of the LCQ.
Yeah,
and
I thought Flock had it.
I don't think Flock ended up getting burnt. It looked like his knee brace area
came out. I think.
How about Jeremy Hand? Did you see his arm in between the swing arm and the back?
I missed that one too. Which I know I'm there.
Yeah, I know, but
there's so much going on.
Yeah, you're in one part of the track.
Oh, we see way more than you.
But it was ironic because who Jeremy Hand is, and he had his hand in between the back wheel and the swing arm, like in the other dude's bike.
Oh god!
And
hand on hand.
And we
dude.
joked like in a group text. It was like, I wonder if Jeremy Hand still has his hand because it was way in there. But I heard he broke a finger.
I mean, you know all about being hands and sprockets and shit.
Yeah, I'm missing half a finger from it. So
yeah, that's scary shit. That's like the scariest thing that can happen.
Dude, it's just funny.
He could have had that arm decapitated.
Anytime you're.
Super no.
Anytime you're underneath a bike, you're so worried about getting burnt.
Yeah.
So you're kicking and crawling. You don't get. I mean, I think that's why Chase lost his finger because he.
No, it is.
I pushed.
I pushed on the back wheel as
and the bike was wide open too. Yeah.
But I mean, it's anybody's first reaction. I mean, you seen what is it, Sexton? Maybe second to last round, he flips in that corner.
Mm-hmm.
He's kicking that goddamn bike.
Yeah.
You seen him? Nobody wants to be underneath a bike. Come on now.
So, Alec, that was a inside podcast joke. Listeners of the show will know it, but
Supernaut probably doesn't remember.
When Taryn was in here, Supernaut was telling a story about some kid, and he was like, "I think he had his arm like almost decapitated." We were like, that means head, right?
It happens to the best of us. Come on now.
It's so funny. I actually think there's it's the YouTube clip that we put up with Taryn's show. It's on that clip.
Oh yeah,
you should go watch it if you get bored. It's funny.
Yeah, I remember now.
But yeah. Anyways, I didn't quite finish my lap from Bob's. Got interjected there, but yeah. Once the pit racing boys passed me, I think I was battling with what the hell's his name?
Starbird.
Did the anchor drop?
No. No, I mean, I could see you the whole time, but then it was number 5. Me and number 5 were battling.
Yeah. Oh, Pro Daddy.
He got me
nasty.
on the last lap. Like, we were getting ready to hit the finish line, and we both came down the downhill together, and he held it on just a touch longer, and we kind of bumped bars a little bit coming in there. And he came over to me after the race. He's like, "Man, I didn't mean to hit you. I'm sorry." I was like, "Fuck, I'd have done the same thing. That's racing. No big deal."
Yeah, racing the checkers.
Yeah.
Rubbin's racing, boo.
Yeah, no worries. But, yeah, I like I've said before, I gotta remind myself who I'm racing against this year, because the plus 25 class, like it was fast last year, but like he blew everyone's doors off as long as Taryn wasn't there. Like that, he was the main guy, and then me and Chase could at least contend for. Well, you didn't race last year, but a podium was a possibility for me last year. This year, just being realistic, it has not been a possibility for me.
It ain't realistic for me either this year.
Yeah, honestly, like lately, of course, I always come to work after race weekend. Everybody that works for me is like, "Hey, how'd you do?" And I'm like, "I got 7th." And it's always funny because I'm like ready for their response, and they're like, "Oh, cool.
Good job."
Yeah, it's like,
damn, that sucks.
It's not. Yeah, they don't know what to say, and I'm like, "Oh, it's all good, man." Yeah. It was some tough competition.
Yeah.
I got 7th out of 15, so
it's literally
finished mid pack.
It's literally the pro class. Like I don't think there's a. I mean, yeah, you have like the 1 or 2 pros that are. Getting after
unless,
but take away the 1 or 2 guys running 450 and 250 pro, Plus 25, I'm pretty sure is the fastest class at the track.
Well, guess who wins pro when they show up? Taryn.
Right.
Unless someone like maybe
Chan.
like Chan or Marquet.
Yeah.
Marquet can probably beat Taryn, I think.
I don't know.
That'd be close.
Yeah, I think Taryn might
But if
run with him.
But I mean, if you look at
Taryn ran with Chan Baker for 2 laps at Raynard's.
if you look at Chan
lap for lap,
if you look at Chan, who he is as a racer in the amateur scene, he's pretty top guy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're beating Taryn, I mean, you might think about dropping out of 9th grade.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's a crazy class. I mean, everybody loves plus 25.
That's all. Yeah, that's all I was getting at. Is it's crazy how fast that class is. I mean, it in my opinion, and I don't even know if it's an opinion. I'm pretty sure it's the fastest class on average at the race.
I just had a good idea. We're calling you out, Chase Marquier. Oklahoma State Championship
Show
Series.
Up.
Well, I mean, I
Let
honestly
Taryn know what's good.
I honestly think. I mean, Marquez is still pretty serious. He's still pretty fast. I think you'd have Taryn's number.
I think so too, but I think for a couple laps they will battle pretty hard.
I'm gonna say Taryn's gonna beat him.
Taryn can almost battle with anybody for a lap.
Well, so Supernova, you weren't at Raynard's. Him and Chan, which Chan was on a 250 and Taryn was on the 450, but 2 laps, Taryn held him off, and Chan was looking for a way around, but he held him off for 2 laps, and then another lap, Taryn stayed close, and then basically Taryn accepted that he was going to beat him. But
if you know anything about motocross, or I guess them years of motocross, you would know what Taryn was, so you would understand why that shit,
I know.
that kind of shit happens.
I know, but I'm just saying, this next weekend, if Marquier showed up, I think Taryn's going to run with him longer than he ran with Chan.
I'm gonna put my money on Taryn just so Chase will hear it.
I don't know
hopefully
where.
come to a race.
I don't know where. I don't know where.
That'd be cool if honestly, I want to see them all race.
He
each
came
other.
to AMP last year, didn't he?
But what my money would be is Chan Baker gets first, Marquet gets second, Odell gets third. But Odell leads the first 2 laps.
I agree.
I don't know where. I don't know where Chan is compared to Chase, because I've seen Chase at the Supercrosses this year,
and he looks pretty good.
Oh, he looks good. I mean, it's stiff competition. He doesn't really do Supercross, and he was on a 250 this last weekend or whatever. But I don't know where Chan's at compared to Chase, if that makes sense. But I know Chan's younger, kind of got that mindset.
And he's battled injuries. I know right now he's got that hand injury.
Both of them.
I don't know. Marquez might not want to hear you think Baker could beat him.
Well, hey, that's why we're hyping it up.
Yeah, just itching that scab.
But I don't know. I know Chan's at that
Maybe we need to
age.
throw a little side pot.
Chan's at the age and at the level where he's going full in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's trying to make a career in racing dirt bikes.
Yeah.
And I feel like Marquier is past that point.
Marquez is pretty old now in the sport.
Well, I mean, he's trying to do it for a living, but he's past that. Like, I feel like Chan is at that point of trying to get a ride.
Yeah, Chan's just trying to make something of himself, and Marquez kind of like had that opportunity. Now he's just kind of riding to
accepting where
do
he's
it.
at.
He's just doing it to do it and doing the best he can.
Which he's doing a hell of a job. But
I
agree. They're just in a little bit different position. Chan's a couple years younger.
Chan still has the opportunity to maybe get that ride.
Right.
Maybe get that factory ride and
what is, I mean,
win. Hey, he might have that opportunity to win a title at 32 years old and be the next Christian Craig.
I'm not sure.
Who knows?
I'm not sure there's got to be at least a couple years difference in those two.
How old was Colt when he got his star ride? Wasn't he like 20?
Dude, Chan's young. Chan's way younger than us.
Yeah.
Chan's not a whole lot younger than Marquier, but I think Chan's 18?
I think he's 19.
Yeah, but
I think Marquez is like 24, 25.
Marquez is my brother's age, so he's 24.
People retire at 24 or 25.
Really? I didn't realize he was.
Dungey retired at 26 with like 4 Supercross titles, 4 outdoor titles, multiple, lights titles. Like Tomac's the only one. 24 Loretta's titles, 96 amateur titles. I mean, come on now,
dude. I mean,
it's like we do have a little change where Tomac's 30 and just won his second title.
Yeah.
So like you can maybe be a little older and win something. But like I said, Dungey retired at 26, I'm pretty sure. Villapoto retired at 26.
No, I saw a stat
Carmichael retired at 26, had 2 undefeated outdoor seasons, 4 Supercross titles.
Okay, we get the point.
I mean, come on.
So
now.
I saw a stat a month or two ago of the average age of a Supercross win is way higher now than it's ever been. I think the average age
because of Tomac.
Well, Tomac and Anderson. Well, yeah, Brayton's
Brayton's one. He gets one from Daytona.
Yeah, no, but it's mostly Tomac and Anderson. They're both. Anderson, I think, is 29, and Tomac's 30. 30. Yeah.
Barsha's got a handful of wins.
Oh, Barsha, yeah.
Barsha has not a handful of wins. He has Anaheim wins.
He has 2.
That's still a handful of wins.
He has 2 wins, right?
I think he has 3.
3.
So if Barsha has a handful, what does Tomac have?
I think this stat was just in the last year.
Tomac has a fucking gaggle of wins.
Oh, gaggle. Oh, I didn't know it went from handful to gaggle.
That's the term. That's the term.
I was trying to figure that
out. Didn't Marv got a win this year, right?
Yes, sir.
So. Yeah, and he's
39. No. I think he's 32. I think Marv's 32. I could be wrong though. Let's get Marv on the phone.
Alec, you got any run-ins with Marv?
No. I mean, he's actually.
Did he mention Mathilde or Frankie?
No. He's actually one of the cool riders that comes up and talks to us on press days and stuff.
I can see that for sure.
Yeah, he's always been really cool on the track. And
who's your favorite pro besides Chiz?
I'd have to say probably Osborne.
Osbrows?
Yeah. He was really cool.
Dude, Osbrows is a cool dude.
The
Mini Warriors, bruh.
Mini Warriors.
I like that he rips
Let's
the woods
get it,
too.
dude.
Yeah, he's a fast woods rider.
My first race with Supercross,
stuff.
we were doing opening ceremonies, and they had a section blocked off due to COVID. You can't go that route. And we had a meeting in the morning for opening ceremonies. You can't take anybody that direction. All right. Well, my tunnel, I had Dean Wilson and Zach Osborne, and it was the tunnel that we weren't supposed to go to the right. So I get my riders, and I'm like, hey, guys, we have to walk all the way around the stadium to get to this tunnel. And Osborne wrecked in that practice, and he's like, hey, man, I kind of hit my knee, and it's do I really have to walk all this way? And I'm like, yeah, sorry. And it's my first race. I'm nervous as hell and want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. And we're walking, and the guys keep kind of just saying, man, do we really have to walk all this way? And it's yeah, sorry. And I get to the tunnel before the tunnel that I'm supposed to get to, and security's stopping us. You can't go any further. This is blocked off. This is, you can't do this. And I'm getting screamed at on the radio, where are your riders? Why aren't you in your tunnel? And I'm like, hey, security stopped us. And they're like, well, what tunnel are you at? And I've never been to the stadium before until that week. And I'm just like, oh, crap. And we finally got it all worked out. Some of the security guys helped me get over the tunnel. But I'm sitting there talking to Osborne, and he was like, yeah, man, I'm just giving you a hard time. I kind of hurt my knee. I was like, I understand. And he was like, I tell you what, if I go out and win the main, I'll give you a shout out for giving me a warm up, for making me walk all around. We were just joking around. And he goes out and he wins the heat, and I'm on the track, holy shit, it's happening. I was like, I'm gonna get my moment. But he didn't win the main. But he's ever since then he's always been cool, because I sent him a message afterwards, and I was like, my bad. I sent him a message after, just apologizing, because I didn't know that we could have just walked over to the right for opening ceremonies. But, yeah, he ever since then he was super cool about it, and he actually sent me a jersey this season, and thought that was really cool.
That is cool. Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, I have situations with riders opening ceremonies that the people on TV never get to see or anything, but you tell the rider their route, and there's pyro on the track and everything, and you just stress that you have to go this route. And there's been a few riders that are just no, I'm just going to take this route, and go down the middle, and pyro goes off, and I'm just oh my god. And the bosses don't know it. The people that are running opening ceremonies, they're why is he going that route? Why'd you tell him to go that route? I'm I did not tell him to go that route. He just wanted to do his own thing. But there's so many things like that happen that nobody will ever know about if
Yeah.
you're just watching on TV. But
That sounds like dirt bike racers, though. Oh, I'm being told what to do? Okay, I'm going to do the opposite of that.
I mean, we're sitting there waiting on our queue to like send the riders. I've had AP Plessinger. He was, in a porta potty, and they're telling me to tell him to go. And I'm looking around. He's not on his bike anymore. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I'm freaking out. I'm looking at his mechanic, like, where's he at? And he just comes running out. He's like, don't worry, I got it, and hops on his bike and shoots off. But like you're under so much pressure because you want everything to go smooth because it's opening ceremonies. So
Right. Yeah.
That reminds me. I heard through the grapevine you were the one that reported Malcolm Pissin behind the dozer.
That was not me. I didn't know anything about that one, but yeah, I got a kick out of that
Apparently
story.
he got fined or something.
Yeah,
He got fined for pissing behind the dozer?
Yeah, so I didn't read all the stuff, but basically the gist I got was
It's a bitch move on someone's part.
It was right before the race. The porta potty was full, and so he went like back in a corner between it was like in the tunnel, right?
Yeah.
Between like behind a dozer or something, and pissed real quick before the race. Somebody saw it and reported him, and he got fined.
Oh, God. If I was a professional, I'd get fined probably 15 times a night.
Yeah, he's like pre-race jitters, bro. I had to go.
I mean, I piss a lot when I drink, but I piss more when I drink a lot of water. So, yeah, I'm definitely getting a lot of fines. I'm pissing anywhere, dude. Give me a crack.
I get it, like TV and a lot of people. I mean, I get their reasoning behind it, but then again, if it slipped and got away,
when someone's trying to make money, that's all there is to it. They probably got paid to report that fine or something. You know what I mean? I pissed in the Crystal Pulse parking lot as soon as I got it on my truck. Cracked the door. You know what I mean?
I'll send you a bill tomorrow.
Well, I'll send it to Pit Racing, so we'll discuss that later.
All right. We're at 2 hours, 16 minutes. I want to go ahead and do a breakdown of AMP for the State Series next weekend. So stick with us. We'll be right back. Going to roll the commercial, and we'll be back with a breakdown at Action Motorsports Park, a.k.a. AMP.
If you've listened to this show long enough, you'll know that I love to talk about suspension, but we know a guy that knows a hell of a lot more than I do, and that's Marshall Plum over at Marshall's Racing. Getting your suspension dialed in is one of the most important parts of being comfortable on your dirt bike, and getting your forks and shock revalved to your weight and riding ability can literally shave seconds off your lap times. Marshall's done the suspension on all of the Pit Racing bikes, and one of the great things about Marshall is that he's always available for a phone call if you need help getting something figured out. With decades of experience in the motocross industry with both professionals and amateurs alike, you can't go wrong with Marshall's Racing. Give Marshall a call today at 405-338-8167 and get your bike dialed in. If you're looking for a new set of wheels in 2022, then look no further than Stillwater Power Sports in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Stillwater Power Sports is one of the top dealerships in the Southern Plains, and they're a locally owned family business that prides itself on putting the customer first. They carry a variety of products such as motorcycles, ATVs, side-by-side, scooters, watercraft, go-karts, just to name a few, and they're authorized manufacturers of Yamaha, Polaris, Can-Am, KTM, and more. Head up to Stillwater Power Sports today and let them know the Pit Racing Boys sent you up there to get the best deal possible on a new machine.
Tired of your kids living through their cell phone? Experience the great outdoors at Jandebuer's, just 30 minutes south of Tulsa in Okmulgee. Bring the family to Jandebuer's. We've taught over 3,000 kids doing up to ride safely and be good sports, even when they're throwing dirt around one of our 10 tracks. Don't have a bike? No problem. You can rent or buy the right bike from our knowledgeable team. Book a lesson now. Packages available for every skill level. Experience the great outdoors at Jandebuer's Motorsports Park in Okmulgee, Oklahoma.
Marquier, Peters, cool.
Go ahead.
When I was hanging out with Crossland team, it was Marquier, Peters, Colt, and Tommy Hahn was on there, and then Freddie Noren was on there.
That's what I was to say. Wasn't Noren? He was somewhere in there.
A.K.A. Frederick, a.k.a. Fast Freddy.
Hey, he's been ripping this year. Speaking of him.
I thought this is his worst year, honestly. I thought he did way better in the years previous.
Yeah, I feel like he's been off and on.
Not saying he didn't do good this year, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't think this is one of his highlight years. For Fast Frederick Norton.
Yeah, Fast Freddy. He is fast.
Frederick.
Do you know, who's he riding? Is he riding for anybody this year?
He was just on a KTM. I don't know if there's any teams involved. I'm sure he had support like everybody does. No OnlyFans like Carnile, but I mean, he was getting it done whatever way possible.
I actually talked to him this last press day to see if he was doing outdoors, and he said he's trying to figure something out about going outdoors. So
Yeah, he rides good outdoors.
yeah, he's really good outdoors.
Fast Frederick. You don't get that name for no reason.
I saw Jeff Walker's going to ride Supercross next year.
Really?
Yeah.
If you don't get blown out in preseason?
Yeah. Jaywalk. I like watching his videos. He seems like a cool guy.
How old is he now?
I think he's my age. Like 26, something like that.
Old dude.
Yeah, I guess-
Grandpa.
He might be a little bit younger. but
Retirement age.
I guess I'm thinking somebody different.
841 got the YouTube channel. Rides KTM.
I guess,
don't know.
yeah, no, not who I was thinking. I was thinking of a guy in like his 40s.
Dude,
Oh,
honestly,
no.
this outdoor season, there's just a lot of question marks. I mean, come on now. We got Caroli,
Dunge.
Who's going to win between Ferrandis and Tomac?
And
I
you-
mean,
you know-
we never know with Ferrandis.
Hey,
we never know with Roxon, dude.
No, and you know who's going to throw a little mix in there?
Yes, Justin fucking Rodbell. Bellrod. Come on, dude.
Bellrod.
I love
No.
Bellrod.
Mookie.
He's an HVAC guy.
Mookie's
yeah.
going to be on the podium multiple times.
That's another question
None
mark.
of you even mentioned him.
What's Malcolm going to do?
On the
We just
multiple times?
Multiple podiums.
We
is what I
just
said.
started on outdoors.
So that
don't
could
say
be
none of
two.
us mentioned it.
Say that's a warm take. Wouldn't say it's a hot take.
I didn't say it's a hot take. I will stamp it. He's going to get more
Hey.
than one podium.
Savachi's on Kawasaki.
Yeah, that's cool. And
There's
then
so
also,
many. There's so many storylines.
McElrath filling in.
Rockstar.
You know a hot take.
Yeah.
right?
Rockstar.
He's filling in for Dean Wilson for first 4 races or so.
Yeah, something happened to Dino's ass. Nobody knows, but yeah.
You know what it means? Like a hot take?
Yeah.
It means like probably not going to happen. Like,
Yeah, I know. I knew what you meant by that.
okay. Yeah.
He thought you meant.
I
but
was saying
now
like
we know
that's
what you
that's
meant, but
possible. It's just not like
Right. I know.
guaranteed.
That's what I don't know. I know Malcolm.
Should we do it? Should we do our picks now?
For the season,
Dude,
'Cause we
picks
got
are
this
really
is
yeah.
documented. So who do we think's gonna win?
Hey,
Okay.
all right, hold on. This is gonna roll on for a little bit. So let's go through and the AMP track layout. Give our thoughts on it.
Yeah, that's
we'll,
right.
We'll
That's
come
what we're
back.
supposed
We'll
to
come back with the outdoor nationals.
Action Motocross Park,
Action Motorsports Park.
Motorsports Park.
J Team no.
J Team Racing.
Is it J Team Racing? I thought that was Bob. J Team Racing.
Who's
Oh, it
J-Team?
is.
Yeah, no.
JT Power
JT
Sports.
Power Sports. That's what it
Dang,
is.
they're like
Yeah.
brothers.
Yeah,
JT Power Sports.
Okay, so AMP is it's a red dirt track.
It's a motor course park.
It's a
Motor
course.
People ride motors out there on the park. Do you think I'm lying? Hey, backtrack to when Jeremy was in studio and tell him what he had show up at his park.
What are you talking about?
Do you not remember? Sob story?
Oh yeah,
Homeboy?
old son from down the road.
Yeah, I don't know what he showed up on.
Rode a wheelie all the way there.
It wasn't a motocross bike, dude.
I thought he said it was. I thought he said it was an old school bike.
Dude, it was a long story.
I thought he said he showed up on like a 06 Honda or
It was
something.
a sad story. 06 Honda's a
And
dinosaur.
Jeremy
so-
let him ride his bike. Remember?
He showed up
Yeah.
on something that was sketchy.
Yeah.
And
I
said,
do remember that story, but I don't remember the details.
that's what I'm saying, dude. I remember
I have to go
details
back and
like
listen
that.
to Jeremy's episode.
So, yeah, motocross park track
Anyway,
breakdown.
the red dirt track. The if you're looking at the track from the pits, the right half of the track is like a sandy loam. The left half of the track is more of like a tacky type dirt that gets pretty hard packed. The right side of the track stays fairly soft for the most part. You get braking bumps near the starting gate where the softer stuff is. You get some ruts in the corners where the harder stuff is. You don't necessarily get a lot of braking bumps. You get some square edge kind of chug holes coming out of the corners.
Chug hole. That's new.
You never heard the term chug holes?
No, sir. Break it down.
Break it down.
What does that mean? I don't really.
Like,
I feel like that's self-explanatory.
Acceleration bump?
Yeah, like
like you're coming out of the corner and it seems solid, then there's a hole.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
I know what you mean.
You're coming out of a rut and it's just chug,
I just
chug,
never
chug,
heard.
chug, chug,
I never
chug.
heard the chug hole.
Hole. Yeah, it's like when you're coming out of a rut and there's a bunch of holes coming out of the rut.
No, Florida likes to get a lot of that kind of stuff.
Florida?
So like Branson, you can call those chug holes coming out of the ruts.
Yeah.
Bronson.
Well, Bob's gets a lot of chug holes too. Bob's gets a lot of chug holes
Yeah,
too.
coming up to the uphill 120-foot triple. Yeah. It gets a lot of those chug holes.
Coming out of the ruts. But, so, I don't know. It's not a track where you necessarily prepare for, a lot of lines and a lot of chop, but that may be different this year with the moisture we're going to have in the ground. We've talked about this before. It's early in the season. Usually they have a race in September for the state series. It's usually hot. It's not going to be near as hot this year. I mean, it could still be fairly hot, but it ain't going to be September hot. And it ain't going to be September dry. So put those two things together, it could be a whole different track from what we're used to, really.
I mean, last year it had quite a bit of lines and
you thought it
some
did?
of the corners.
Well, you have some corners that always have lines. So you have the corner, like when you go across the starting gate, you make that left hand, there's always a few lines in that berm.
Well, I'm thinking more of like, so like you hit the quad, you hit the quad, you hit the quad downhill.
Quad up.
That had a couple lines, but once you come up from that, it had quite a bit of lines.
Like you jump the step up and then land in the corner?
You know that tabletop step down, wherever the hell you want to call it?
After the S-turn?
I don't know what the S-turn is, but...
So you hit the step up out of the canyon you're talking about. Go right,
yeah,
and you go left, and then there's like a table double thing.
Yeah, right through there,
Yeah.
It had quite a bit of lines. Like there were some ruts that were
That's
like
another corner
pretty,
that gets another...
pretty long corner and a lot of ruts.
Right, yeah, that's another section of the track.
Had some lines to where like someone might go inside, but if you carry more speed, you might get them on the outside.
Yeah, and then after you hit that double table thing we're talking about, you go down, make a right, kind of go down in the valley, and then that left before you hit the small table, that always has a line selection through there.
Yeah.
But then from there, the rest of the track really doesn't usually rut up. I'm looking forward to see how it turns out this year because
we'll see.
It's going to be a whole different dirt, I think, in terms of moisture content, like reserve moisture content. Like when they rip it up, there's going to be moisture in the ground, as opposed to in previous years when they rip it up, they're just ripping up dry dirt that they got to put water on. We know that that's not a good recipe for having, consistent conditions throughout the weekend. But he's got, we talked to him on the phone. He's going to have new sections put in. The quad's not going to be there anymore. It's going to be a double. And then I don't know if he's posted pictures of it. He sent me a picture of it.
Real quad now.
I don't think you're going to be able to quad it anymore, but it's a small double leading into a longer double. But the longer double after it is quite a bit bigger than the first double. So I don't think
big quad.
I don't think a quad's in the cards this year. But you hit that. You're going to hit that section, and then he said he's widened up the section after that where you kind of veer off into the canyon, the first canyon section. And used to coming through that part of the track when you would hit that, there's kind of a either or. You had like an inside roller or you went outside and it was smooth.
Yeah.
But it got so narrow through there that basically everybody would hit that inside roller, jump down, and everybody would funnel to the inside line.
Yeah, there was an outside like berm, but
yeah, but it's so far out there,
too far out, to
which maybe
make no time up.
Maybe he's made some changes to that. I don't know. I meant to ask him about that when we had him on the phone, but that would really make that corner a lot better if he would suck that berm up closer to the inside. That way, if you
had a chance to
if
go
there's
outside.
if there's 6 guys going to the inside rut, you can try a different line and not be guaranteed to not make a pass. But on the flip side, if you had a lot of guys in your class and you didn't get a good start, usually you could come to that spot. Almost always somebody either gets kind of hung up or
Bunched
falls,
up,
or you can
outside.
So you can go around them and make a few passes there. But then you hit the step up. Can be a little tricky. You come in pretty hot to that corner. It's a tight corner after you land there.
And like Jeremy, one thing I like about Jeremy, he likes to make his jumps kind of like either clear it or don't clear it.
Yeah, some
like
of them are a little peaky.
If you case it, you kind of pay the price.
Mm-hmm.
which is cool because that step up was kind of steep face, can't see the landing, which always intimidates people, which it should. But yeah, that jump was kind of like if you clear it good, you could probably make the inside. If you case it, over jump it, you're kind of forced to the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, so, if you case that jump like you're talking about, you'll bounce like 10 feet, and then you're guaranteed to hit the outside of the corner.
Yeah,
so
if you OJ, definitely going outside.
If you're not really precise on the landing, you're not going to make the inside rut.
Yeah, then if you turn that next corner, it's a inside roller or outside sweeper.
Yeah.
With a little bank, so you could carry some speed.
Which I don't know that I've ever hit the outside there.
I've only rode the track twice. Don't think I've hit the outside.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, I know on maybe like a super mini or a 125, it might be kind of tough to hit that jump from the inside. Yeah. So maybe the smaller bikes are hitting that outside line.
But then the next jump is pretty tricky.
You think so? The double after it?
Well, I call it a table with a face and a landing. I don't know what you call it because it's not a double.
No, that's the jump I'm talking about. That's hard to clear from the inside if you're on a smaller bike. The jump you're talking about.
Well, we talked about the step up.
Yeah.
Turn. Then that one.
Right. We're talking about the same jump.
Yeah. You call that a double?
Well, no. I'm saying there's a double after that, which is what I thought you were talking about.
Oh yeah, that one's tricky. But even the jump before that's tricky. It's like it's a tabletop, but it's not. It's got like a really steep face, really steep landing, but it's got dirt in the middle. It's just a weird jump, but I like it.
Yeah, you're like seat bouncing, so you almost like brake tap off of it because you're kind of coming right out of that inside corner.
Dude, Taryn was doing something last year. I don't know what you call it. It's like a scrub, but like a power scrub. Like, I don't know, it was weird. Like,
Explain,
his tire...
I didn't see it.
His tire was spinning off of the face, but he's sideways. And he was going really fast. Like, I really don't know what you call it. It was like a power scrub.
Some Taryn Nodell 450 shit.
Pretty much. I guess that's what you call it. Because, like, he would come off the face. Like, I scrubbed the wrong way for that jump. So I have no chance of doing whatever the fuck Taryn was doing. But if you watched him, he was already sideways, like midways off the face. His tire's still spinning, and he's just scrubbed nasty. It was cool. It was cool to watch. It pissed you off because you can't do it. But.
So after the jump we're talking about right now, you go like maybe 30 yards. You hit a little floater double into that right-hand corner.
Yeah, kind of like a little jump to flat.
Yeah. You almost
to set up for the next corner.
You almost have to kind of preload it because it doesn't quite shoot you over the landing.
No, it's not. It's not meant to be a double. It's kind of like a roller to flat to next corner, but you had to like preload to jump up to land to flat.
Yeah.
There's no landing. It's just jumping to flat.
So So usually what I would do after that double is I would just try to hug the inside all the way around. But I was just thinking about this. What if you were to land on the left side of that double that we're talking about coming into the corner and kind of swoop and then go to the inside? Do you think that would work?
I can't remember, but didn't that next corner, like once you turn the corner, didn't it have like a inside roller or an outside flat or something? Wasn't it kind of different?
I think you're right. I think it might have had like a jump off into that lower section.
Yeah, I think inside like kind of had a jump, but the outside was just a flat.
I think you're right.
Like flat to roller.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's how it went. I can't remember, but
I don't know if you could sweep outside after that second double and then cut in and then have more speed to like jump into that bottom section.
Possibly.
Yeah. Might be something to look for.
But yeah, that corner maybe not as much, but the next corner had a lot of ruts.
Yes, definitely.
It was cool.
Yeah, the corner.
I think I wadded right there.
The corner that I'm talking about is usually flat, like you're usually flat tracking around there.
But I think that's where he changed it last year and made it better.
Well, yeah, that whole section is a lot better than it used to be. It made the track a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the next left-hander, after you go down in the bottom, there's usually a good amount of ruts right there.
Yeah.
And then you kind of go over a roller, hit a small tabletop, and then after you hit that small tabletop, you've got an inside roller or an outside flat.
Sweeper.
Yeah. And
step up.
That inside roller always has a Marley line on it that you can kind of cut.
What up, Johnny?
Yeah. So if Jeremy listens to this, he'll probably put a big tire right there. But
dock you 37 laps.
dock you 37
So
laps.
we can all blow our knees out.
Yeah. But you land off that inside roller, there's quite a bit of lines down in that bottom right there, actually, before you hit the step up.
Yeah. That's where you have to just hold it wide open and not think about the lines.
Yeah.
If you think about the lines, you'll cross thread Craig and ejectocito
Cross thread Craig, cross rut Craig. Yeah.
Yeah, cross thread, cross, it's all the same thing.
So then you come into one of the can be dicier sections of the track when it's slick, because you land off that step up. It's pretty high speed, long straightaway that's a little bit canted to the left, and then you're kind of sweeping from outside to in to jump that little double on the inside. I don't know if he left that there or not. Now that he's built the wall jump, he might have taken that out, because that was like the first of those 3 doubles.
I think that whole section is going to be different this year.
Yeah, so we may not know exactly what's going to be going there, but
I think it's going to go maybe inside roller option to big roller, and then what do you say? Stretch the finish line 20 feet.
he made the finish line 10 feet bigger.
I think he said there people were OJing at 60 feet. Am I wrong?
That was the number he threw out. Yep.
Which I think he kind of went Bob on that one. But yeah, it's probably a 50-foot jump originally.
Probably, yeah.
So hopefully stretch it another 20, 30 to make it a 60-foot.
But he also
double.
said he slowed down the section before it, so he didn't think.
Yeah,
it's
we got that huge roller, so
Yeah, that'll make a big difference.
Did we just make it a full lap?
we just made it a full lap.
well,
right there on the finish.
We didn't. So we went
Oh,
off the starting gate and then went left. So we haven't quite got to
Yeah,
the
so
full-
we still got one more jump.
Well, the next section is one of the coolest sections after the finish,
Yeah.
regardless of what he did.
So you're going to hit a gigantic wall before the finish line, which there's pictures of on Facebook if you haven't seen it on Amp's web.
We love
Facebook
the
page.
wall.
And and
If
then
you like Machine Gun Kelly, you understand that. But
he made the finish line wider too, which if you remember, there's a pretty narrow face on there. Like going too wide on that was a crowd. And then you land off the finish line. It kind of veers to the left just slightly.
with rollers,
Yeah, there's some small, like long rollers through there.
some rollers.
Yeah, some long, like just manual type rollers, just come down through there. For those of you listening to this, I'm doing a hand motion as I do that. But you hit the rollers and then you veer back to the right, and he has the hip jump.
The jump's always kind of sketched me
The
out a
hip,
little bit. Like, it's not bad, but
The hip jump?
yeah.
Yeah, it's always sketchy.
It's like you got to think coming up to it, like, don't fuck up here.
Yeah, someone wads on that thing every year, which we talked about this many times on here, so I'm not going to get back into it.
That is the section that will get the most powdery. There's 0 ruts going on up there.
But also, too, it's
powder
like
section.
where if
So
you're
you might-
comfortable, you're going to gain some time on somebody that's going to take it a little conservative there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Conservative.
If you hammer down through there, which
Pit racing is not conservative this year, so we don't have to worry about that.
I don't know. I am kind of conservative and make sure I finish.
if you hammer down through that roller section and then across that hip jump, you can make up a lot of time for sure.
I like to launch that roller or that double thing. It doesn't feel right to clear it, so you might as well just over jump it.
Well, that's cool. Anytime I hit it, I feel like as soon as I land, I'm on the left side of the track. So I'm like, do you sweep way out when you hit it?
He's doing the scrub daddy
It's a
and
left-hand
jump.
corner after that, so you're set up for the inside.
You're right, but
And then you hit the quan. Maybe there's no more quan after that, but you used to hit the quan.
yeah. So you land off the hip jump. There's a bunch of breakers coming into the next corner. You gonna make it over there, Chase?
I've had enough of this guy over here.
You come into pretty heavy breakers going across the starting gate, coming into that left-hand corner, which always has a pretty good inside and a pretty good outside option.
It's normally got a good inside rut, but
The outside starts out really good, but then it gets ate up.
it is a corner where if you carry a lot of speed, I think you could potentially make a pass on the outside.
Yeah, I agree.
It's either inside rut or rail to berm.
Yeah,
But-
it's like a not like a straight powder, but like a berm that you're gonna set up and just
You got good cushion.
But the
like,
outside,
pop that clutch and just. Brrr.
yeah, to me, the outside on that corner, To me, the outside on that corner is kind of the lazy line. So I feel like a lot of people.
That's my line.
I feel like a lot of people hit the top of the berm. So by the time you get out of the corner, like middle of the day, you're getting a lot of chug holes coming out of that berm.
I definitely sit down going to that corner. It's my lazy line.
That's your breather moment.
Okay, so we made it a lap. I didn't think we were ever going to make it a lap.
Barely.
Hey, here's my pick. You maybe call me a bandwagon, whatever. Anderson's taking Moto 1 win.
Who's taking Moto 2?
I was going to say Tomac, but I'm a little skeptical with this time off, letting the knee heal. Letting the knee heal.
That real heel.
I don't know. For 30 minutes.
Heal yourself.
Where I'm kind of leery.
So you got Anderson Moto 1.
Yeah, that's so I need to pick both motos.
No, just tell me
overall podium. I'm gonna say Anderson first, Justin Barsha second, which may surprise you, but I don't have a feeling that he's gonna do good.
He's hyped up.
Wait, so Anderson first, who second?
Barsha second.
Who do you got third?
And
this is the first moto?
No, overall.
Oh, overall.
And I'm gonna put.
So we're doing
for
overall.
the season?
No, first round.
Moto.
okay.
Is it still Hangtown?
First round.
I got fucked off. My bad.
So I'm gonna do Anderson, Barsha, Tomac.
Anderson, Barsha, Tomac. All right, what's your pick?
I know it's a little.
Barsha number 2 is a bold call.
I know, but I don't know. I have a hunch that he's gonna come out.
You don't have Dunger, Caroli, nowhere, dude. Where you at?
It's just I'm gambling.
I think. Damn, this is hard to pick. There's so many studs
and I really
that
was
going to be out there.
Nobody's. I don't expect anybody to be right, but I wanted to
surprise the crowd,
surprise you, the little wow factor.
I'm gonna go ET3 for the number 1 spot. Ferrandis 2, Cairoli 3.
I got
Now you're making me second guess my picks.
I got
but really,
I got Tomac.
Who knows what's gonna happen?
Tomac, Sexton, Friendes.
Sexton's a good pick. Yeah.
All right, Alec.
I'm going with Roxon first.
Ooh.
Holy shit.
K-Rock.
He's had plenty of time.
He'll be
to
lucky
get
to
ready
finish
for
a moto.
Dude, he might win by 40 seconds.
Yeah.
I think he'll throw down on the first moto at least. Well, I guess we're doing overall. So I'm still going to say Roxon.
He'll probably pull the whole shot.
Piroli second, and then
that's dicey. I like it.
I'm probably gonna have to say Tomac for third, but Ferrandis is up there too.
Honestly, now my picks suck.
I don't think. I honestly don't think Ferrandis is going to be that good first round. I think he's going to be good throughout the season, but I don't think he's going to be good first round.
I agree.
I did forget about
let's hear your explanation.
I forgot about Roxon.
Why do you not think he's going to be good first round?
Ferrandis?
Yeah.
Well, first off, he's absolutely horrible at starts. I don't think he's going to be like mentally ready for first round. So he's going to probably get a shitty start, make his way up, and do a top 5.
Why do you think he's not going to be mentally ready? He took half the supercross season off for outdoor prep.
Adrenaline, Bubba?
Yeah, but
look at these guys. Tomac,
I don't know. I don't think I agree with that.
All right.
Listen. When you race somebody each weekend, you judge them.
Right.
So you're like, oh, I'm better than this guy.
Okay.
I'm better than this guy.
I'm following.
I ain't saying Friendes is coming in like not like, oh, I'm not good, but it's like he's just kind of blind.
But I think he understands that his A game is not supercross.
I think he understands that too, but also Friendes is really good supercross. He just can't get a start and do consistent laps.
Yeah.
He's really fast indoor. Extremely fast.
I'm not saying he's not. He's just not one of the top dogs right now.
Yeah, because he's not consistent and can't get a start.
Yeah.
Outdoor, he has a chance to make himself up.
Yeah, you got 30 minutes to work back.
Just like Chase just said.
Right.
So I don't give Friendes. I mean, Friendes could come out and go 1-1. I wouldn't be surprised. I just don't think he's going to.
All right.
Roxon, I could see easily coming out 1-1 and then
falling off.
Yeah. I really hope he doesn't because like I like Roxon, but
I do too. I want to see him do good. I've just lost confidence in the guy.
If you want to hear my number 1 pick for outdoors right now
for a championship,
I'm going Tomac.
Championship?
I'm going fucking Tomac.
I'm all over that. Yeah, I'm all over that.
If it didn't go Tomac, I would have to give it to
Only reason
I think I'd have to give it to Fernandez next, but if I had to go third, I'd probably have to give it to Roxon.
I cannot wait to watch Tomac bark that fucking Yamaha outdoors, dude.
You just never. I mean, Tomac. I don't think there's much people. I don't think there's anybody that can go as fast as Tomac right now.
Yeah.
I've never. I mean, as soon when Tomac is doing good, I don't think anybody can really go as fast as him. He's kind of one of them Stuart Carmichaels, but not quite. But he is that type of guy.
When he's in the zone, he's unbeatable.
Who has won I mean, Carmichael's lapped second before, but who's won an outdoor title with Dungey in it and won by a minute and 20 seconds?
Yeah.
I mean, Tomac has.
Hey, I got something real quick. Each of you have 3 seconds to make your answer. Austin, you start, and I'll go to Cole and then Alec. Where does Dungey finish overall this weekend, next weekend?
6th.
Not this weekend. Whenever the first round. 6th overall?
15th.
I'm saying 5th.
6th, 15th, and 5th.
Dude, I don't think he's got it. I love Dungey, and I just don't think he's got it.
I'm thinking 5th or 6th. So
I don't know if it's really as bad as 15th. But
let's see. So I got my picks. I got E.T., Ferrandis, Cairoli. That leaves Anderson, Stuberger,
Barsha, Sexton.
and Sexton. That's already 6 right there.
Stuberger. Dude,
I think
top 10 is
I think
stacked.
he could sniff 6th overall, but it's going to be tough for him.
I think 10th is like, damn, Dunge. Like, that's pretty goddamn good.
Yeah.
Maybe he does better, but I don't think so. I shouldn't have said 5th. I should have said 10th. But the one I'm worried about is Crowley, because Crowley's only like a year out of racing.
Yeah.
Dungey's 6.
Cairoli's going to shred.
I still don't. I mean,
I'm not saying he's going to dominate,
God,
but
dude.
he's going to shred.
These motherfuckers know these tracks. Like, they race it. It'd be hard for Crowley to really get it. If Crowley comes in and wins, I'm pissed. I'm pumped for Crowley, but I'm like, God damn it, America.
Bro, those GP dudes are so gnarly.
They are gnarly, but they're not gnarlier than US. And from what history's shown. Because we have the most titles at the nations.
You're right. Yeah. The US just hasn't put any stock in it.
We are the most gnarly.
Yeah. The US just hasn't put any stock in it in a long time because they don't give a fuck.
Well, dirt bikers get paid, don't get me wrong, but they don't care unless they're getting paid because they don't really get paid.
Mm-hmm.
So who's really going to care about the donations? They used to care about it, but not really anymore. You can't blame them.
I'd really like
when
to see
OnlyFans girls are making like $100,000 a month. Who the fuck's really caring about the donations? When dirt bike fans, you might know, what does a 450 racer make for a win at the races?
50 grand, I think, is the prize money.
No. Way less. I think I just heard.
No, I'm pretty sure at Supercross the prize money's 50.
I heard on a podcast today or yesterday, I don't know. I think Webb said that 6th place gets like $2,300. 6th place.
It falls off quick.
It ain't much for fucking first though either.
It's a lot more.
They get paid from sponsors, it ain't that much more. 10 grand. Hold on here, Jack.
Big Bab.
Big Bab.
Supercross prize money.
I want to say it was like 12 grand or something for
12 grand.
But I mean, I don't know.
Dude, I think you're
report.
close. I think you're real close. It ain't shit.
Oh, this is that world championship. Hold on.
Why is your computer not catching up?
Oh, my bad. Got it on the wrong screen here. This is fucking. Okay, Supercross Live. This is contingency. What the fuck? Why can't you just find this stuff?
Because they don't want you to know how low it is.
I guess. That's KTM Cash, Yamaha, Supercross Purse. This is from 2016, so it's probably gone up a little from here, but.
No, it's probably gone down. I know that Kawasaki used to pay.
Wow, I was very wrong. $12,000 in 2016 for first place. That is fucking dog shit, dude.
Yeah, I tell you.
So Webb said sixth place gets 30-something thousand or 30-something hundred.
So if a privateer,
so I think maybe the 5 I have in my head. I think first place maybe is 15,000 that I saw. For 2022.
Kawasaki used to pay I think 30,000 for a win
in contingency.
Yeah, way more than the purse from the actual event.
I mean, the good news is the guys that are winning races are making way more money outside of prize money.
The good news for them is they sign $1 million contracts,
right?
And they get purses for wins.
I don't know if you listened to the Gypsy podcast with Chad Reed, but he said when he was in his prime on Yamahas, he had a $3 million deal with Etnies.
That's what I'm saying.
Just with Etnies.
Listen, here's what really sucks. Let's say Joe Blow Carnile mud racer gets a W somehow. Random, you know what I mean? Everybody wads up. He's looking at $12,000. That's what he's taking home.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's no bonuses. Nothing. That's his big win. Is $12,000. If Carmichael, I ain't gonna say. If Carmichael's gonna win, he's looking at what, 100,000, 200,000, 300, whatever his contract was. Mm-hmm. Carnile or whoever is looking at $12,000. That's his big win. I mean, he's going to get some notoriety. His social media is going to blow up these days, whatever. But still, come on now.
Yeah, that's unreal. $12,000.
If you're a golfer and you randomly win an event, you're a multimillionaire.
Yeah,
or at least a millionaire
for sure.
Any event,
and you spend way less money getting there.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, maybe not.
But it just kind of sucks that the purses are so shit.
Because nowadays you got to go through all the fucking tours before you get to PGA.
You've always had to, but
you've always had to go through golf.com or whatever, web.com, Corn Ferry, all that shit.
You don't just walk up and say I'm a pro.
No, I know, but it's more complex now than just Q School. I'm pretty sure it used to just be just Q School, but I could be wrong.
I think it's always been pretty. I mean, if you're one of them badasses, you're one of them badasses. But if not, you got to kind of,
I don't know,
work your way up.
We're not going to get into a 20-minute golf tangent.
Well, we don't know anything about golf.
Towards the end of the show.
Pit golfing?
Pit golfing.
We are pit golf.
Pit racing, pit golfing.
I mean, we'll show up to your local course and shoot a fucking 98 right now.
Hey, that's what we need to do. Me and you, Dihip.
Not me.
Start a golf podcast.
I cannot hit a 98
easily.
That'd be dope.
Maybe 100.
We get Mason in.
148.
We're all over it.
You're hitting 148 pit?
That's on my good day.
I don't think you could hit a 148.
148 yards?
No.
Oh,
Score.
shoot 148.
I don't think you could.
I think my best when I golfed with you 4 or 5 times was like 130.
Yeah, you've gone backwards since then. I think you're in the 170
That's
range.
what I was saying.
We shot like 120s our first round ever. Didn't we?
I think so.
Yeah, it's like 120 something.
Yeah, but we didn't hit mushrooms like Pitt.
Oh, shit. Yeah. All right. Anyway, what's the God? It's got to be even worse on the purse for outdoors.
Yeah, I have no idea on that.
Thanks for sweating your ass off.
Yeah, right.
I think that's the reward. That's the payment.
We're gonna search the purse for outdoor.
Yeah,
I think they pay those per moto. If I remember correctly.
Fucking tight today. There we go. Wait, no, that's gas gasket.
Round 8.
That's gas gasket.
So Alec, how do they pay you per round, or like how's that work for you?
We're paid like through the week because I mean we start like supercross. We start on Tuesdays and
So
get done on
hourly
Sundays.
Or is it just a set amount per?
It's just a day rate. So
Is it decent?
yeah, I mean you're always gonna want more, of course.
I mean, nobody wants to talk about money, so I ain't gonna ask you that.
Right, but for me, I mean, I was pretty happy with the money on my first year, but you know, as you keep going on, you're always going to want more. So,
Did you tell them you wanted more for your second year?
No, I mean we talked about it, and with Supercross I got bumped up, and outdoors I got bumped up as well, but
To a different position.
What? Yeah.
So it doesn't actually have the numbers here, but it says $1 million in pro purse money for the entire season.
Divided by 12.
There's 8 rounds.
Divided
right?
by How many? What do they pay? The top what?
So there's 8 rounds. So
there's 12, right?
No, there's 8 rounds.
There's only 8 rounds of motocross.
Isn't there?
How many races you got?
12 rounds.
Oh, 12 rounds.
12.
You fucking know. Why you over here letting me look like a dumbass?
I already told you 12.
I was trying to read on the page. Wasn't even paying attention.
But what do they pay? Top what?
I think top 20 gets paid, if I remember
Jesus
correctly.
Fucking Christ.
Shite, dude.
So there is, by that number, $1 million, which this is for 2018. It says that would be $83,000 available to the entire field at each round.
Yeah, trash.
Well, so 83,000, and I think Supercross just said it was 69,000.
Won't buy the front brakes on the bike.
So that would suggest that outdoor money is better.
Yeah.
If we're doing our calculations correct. Well, that's interesting.
But if they're
but that's 12
if
rounds
they're
compared
splitting
to
it,
17 rounds.
But that's Supercross was 22 riders, and this is 40.
This is 40. Yeah, 40.
But I don't know if they pay the top 40.
No,
because points.
I didn't divide.
You
it
only
by,
get points for top 20.
So that's probably when they start paying.
I didn't divide it by 40. I just did 1 million divided by 12 rounds.
Actually, I'm pretty sure. I think they get paid in the LCQ per position.
They do.
Even if you don't get top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure you still get paid something. Either way, I know it's trash. Like you're not a rider, not sponsored, making money unless you're making events, like main events every time. But you got to be like a Chisholm. You got to be like a Paulatelli. You got to be like pretty fucking elite to be making main events every round. And you're getting lapped. Unless you're like a top 5 guy, you're getting lapped every main event. Think about that.
I think that last round lapped up to 7th or something like that.
At least, yeah. So you could be battling for 7th and fucking getting lapped.
There's a updated article
This
from
shows how
2019.
badass top guys are.
Oh, they're insane. They're insane. Like anybody in that main event is insane.
Let's see. Total of prize money and contingency has surpassed $6 million. That doesn't mean anything. Still near. This one says nearly 1 million in pro purse. The year before it said over 1 million. So it went down from 2018 to 2019.
Nearly $1 million. I mean, Trump's dad gave him a loan.
The good news is pretty much all the major manufacturers have a contingency program. Between the 6 of them, I think there's like $1 million a piece between the 6 of them. So you're getting additional money from the bike you're on. So it's at least a little better.
Dude, you're either a factory, struggling, or your dad has money. It's one of the 3. I'm just gonna be honest.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Or you're seeking OnlyFans.
Shit. All right, we're coming up on 3 hours, boys. You about ready to wrap this thing up or what?
Yeah, I think Alec's got to get back to Kansas tonight.
You head back to Kansas tonight?
Yep.
All right.
Well, we appreciate you
Good
coming
thing
in.
you've been hitting the chocolate milk.
I felt pretty good not being outnumbered here. We're 50-50 quads and bikes.
Yep.
Yeah, but he works for dirt bikes these days, so he's more of a dirt biker these days.
And I'm not a quad guy.
Came over to the dark side.
From the roots, though. Roots run deep.
Yeah, they do. I appreciate we appreciate you coming in, Alec.
Well, thank you guys for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool to hear about the stuff you get to do as part of the track crew for
behind the
Supercross
scenes
and
is cool.
outdoors. Yeah, we didn't know really any of that stuff, so it's cool to hear about. Hopefully, the listeners enjoyed it. I'm sure they did. But anybody helping you out that you want to thank while you're here, anything like that?
I mean, I have a pretty good following. I wouldn't say it's
Yeah, feel free to give yourself a shout out at all your Instagram and all that stuff, whatever.
Yeah, pictures and stuff. It's Got This Media. I need to update my website, but it's gotthismedia.com. GAUT. That's how it's spelled.
Yeah, GAUTTHIS.com.
Media.
Got This Media.
Sorry, gotthismedia.com. You know how to spell media. Just fucking figure it out.
Instagram, it's just Alec Gaut. You can find me on Facebook and stuff like that. So.
That's ALEC. EX.
ALECGAUT. Nobody can get my
Anybody
name
that
right.
has a problem with my spelling, just give me a call.
No.
It's 1-800-FUCK-YOU.com.
Now, the reason I say that, so I have Alec on Snapchat and all social media, but anywhere he goes, whether it be, McDonald's, Starbucks, whatever, they spell his name wrong every time.
Alex? Or just Gaut?
Alex, Eric, anything but Alex.
It sounds like Dihip. He's got a similar problem.
Oh yeah, I say Cole and they say Colton, Colt, Alex, Jeremy. No, it's never Cole. It's always Colt.
So Alec Gaut on Instagram, gotthismedia.com. Anything else you got?
That's about it.
Okay, yeah. Go check his stuff out. He's got some cool pictures of Pro Moto on his page. Got the website, so go hit him up. But anyways, appreciate everybody tuning in. It's been another good one. He got a little rowdy as always, and
not too rowdy. Come on now.
Not too rowdy, just a little out there. But that's what we like. That's what we keep you. That's what we keep you around for. I told Ryan today. I said, Dihip plays a vital role in pit racing, but it's really hard to explain what that role is.
Just a guy. Just a guy in the corner, dude.
But anyway, Pit Racing Podcast. Try to be back here again in 2 weeks. We need to be. But
yeah, we'll be back for a recap from AMP.
Yep. AMP Motocross Park. Come back to the recap. We keep the content coming to you always. Pit Racing bullshit.
Shit, bro.
We're out of this thing. Catch y'all next time. It's been another good one. See y'all at the races.